has the hook just to your northwest, west of Eric, not tornadic, no tornado warning on it. What do you think by looking at it here? I've got my idea. What do you think by looking at it? Give me an update.
Okay, David. So what I think's happening right now is we're kind of going through it's reorganizing itself. It took that shower in from the south, and in all reality, I feel like there's a little bit of there's almost two updrafts. You can kind of see this one that's in my shot, and then there's a space, and then this is what the old one is right here. So this one had just pulled a bunch of scud in and is trying to take over back on the southwest flank. I originally thought that this was going to get pulled into the main one. There's quite a bit of movement starting to go on in the cloud bases now, and we are starting to see banding develop back to our southeast that's being pulled in. So I would say, even though it's been on the struggle bus for probably the last 15 minutes, it's trying again to pulse back up. And like I said, this thing is crawling. We still haven't moved since the last update. It's basically in the same spot, in the same area that it's been. So my opinion is it's trying to become a lot more surface-based and a lot more surface-established. And once that happens, we'll see what the evolution is over by the next 15 to 20 minutes to maybe a half hour. Back to you.
Okay, all right, nice job. So that is the updraft. That's it. You're looking at it right here. And nothing on the ground. We'll see what it does here. I think it is reorganizing. That was my first take here looking at radar. Okay, back to Lynx 1. And this is Brandon's storm. And see how this is kind of flipping around on this side here, and that's normally a sign it's having some issues. It's struggling a little bit right now, but that can last 5 minutes, and then it ramps back up. All right, but either way, big hail, and we'll get a storm track on this coming up here, but you folks in, well, Eric, feed a lot, hail coming into you right now, hail on the north side of Eric, and it's going to be nickels and dimes. Cassie, let's see what Lacey, let's see what the hail sizes are in this. It looks like it's come down some. Yeah, so we've got quarters and probably still some quarters in there, but it's certainly not tennis balls or baseballs. And that hail went right over Eric, moving to the northeast. You folks out in and around Eric had some hail, and still might be hailing on the north sides of Eric as it makes its way northeast. So that storm has weakened a little bit. It's weakened some, and it's not tornadic, no tornado warning on that. But storm strength, see how strong it was, and now it's back down into the orange category here. So it's gone up. Now it's come back down. By the way, that's a product you only see on News 9. Okay, let's jump back into southwest Oklahoma here. Let's talk about our tornado warned storm. And once again, man, look at the hook now.
Yeah, it's going to be so interesting in the next 20 minutes or so when that next one merges with it, David. Oh, is it splitting? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's splitting.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to have a split, which means this is your left mover, we call it. This is your right mover. These produce big hail, these produce big hail, and a possible tornado. The right movers can produce the tornadoes, left movers seldom do. Might get an anticyclonic or something a little nutty, a little fruity, but anyway, we'll see. All right, let's go back to Tom again. And tornado warning continues for you folks in McKnight. This is for northern Harmon County. And Tom, your storm, a couple of things going on. It's beginning to split. Obviously, you're going to stay on the right mover. You'll stay to the south. We'll let the left mover go to the north and produce more hail. But Tom, the mesocyclone now is going to be to your west-northwest. How far is that, Lacey?
It's just a couple miles. From
2 miles?
2 to 3 miles. And David, it's moving kind of east-southeast. It may come to the north side of Hollis. What do you think?
I know. Yeah, it's going to be close.
It'll be close.
Yeah, if you live in Hollis, you got to watch it here. Tom's going to bring his shot around here so we get a look at this thing. Look at that feeder band there. That'll fire you up. Anytime you see a feeder band like that, that just means this thing it's pulling it all in. All right, Tom, hang on a second.
The hook is more pronounced now, David.
Yep, Tom.
It's tightened up on radar.
Okay, Tom Pastrano, you are hot. We have your shot. It's getting stronger, Tom. There you go, just northwest of you. That's right now. That is live. And what do you think, Tom? I see scud developing underneath it. Give us an update. Right behind the wires there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the scud is feeding into it. Rotation is increasing. It's almost strong rotation now. I kind of moved to the south. This storm is kind of inching more closer to Hollis. It looked like Hollis was out of the woods, but, it's kind of inching closer and closer. And I did have 2-inch hail about a mile to my north there, but this wall cloud, it's increasing. I wouldn't say rapidly, but it could do something in the next few minutes. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's definitely getting more pronounced and at least stronger on radar. So looking at Tom's shot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at the spin here, folks. Hey, Tom, your camera is a little bit tilted. I know you see that. But
I'm going to get a better position.
You're fine. You're fine. It's a great shot.
Parking spots left.
You got a great shot here. He's going to get back in position here, and he's going to show you what this thing looks like. You can see the rotation there. He's going to get up here, and also a sign of a veteran storm chaser. Get the power lines out of your shot. All right? So there you go, if you can. Doesn't always work out, but there you go. Here it is right here. See the scud developing? See the scud? So what's happening is the mesocyclone's right here, and it's low pressure. It's an area of low pressure rotating counterclockwise, and it gets stronger. It starts to pull in more unstable air, right, up into the updraft. This thing is spinning faster and faster, and then as it pulls in rain-cooled air from the right side, right, remember, it's rotating counterclockwise, so it's pulling in air from all directions into it, and as the pressures, the barometric pressure gets lower, the condensation starts to sink farther and farther and lower it down, right? So that's what's going on with this. We'll see if this attaches. Tom, is that attached right there? It looks like it is. Is that an extension of the meso there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is attached, just straight up. So it could do something here. It's really trying. Past storms, I've seen this happen, and it just has that look, that rising scud, that rotation. It's really, really trying. I really think it might do something here pretty quick.
Room. We're going to go back to radar, but let's make sure we leave Tom's shot up. Thank you. Great job, everybody. All right, so new hook developing on this one. Still not into that overdrive mode yet, but this hook is getting tighter. And Tom is on this hook, and the hook on that is obviously pronounced. It's still north of Hollis, but gosh, not by much. You folks in Hollis, I know you're looking at it, you're watching it, but if I'm in Hollis, and especially north of Hollis, lowest level, center part of the house, again, you can take your phone with you, there you go, watch this streaming if you need to, and we're going to watch this thing trek off to the east-southeast. Is it moving more southeast now, or is it?
It looks like it is. I mean, it was basically stationary there for a little bit, and now it's got that shove off to the east, down to the southeast, and it's actually moving at about, 10 to 15 miles per hour now. David, what do you think? Yeah,
it's definitely, and it'll slow down even more once this thing comes into it. Look at the couplet.
Yeah. On the last scan, I mean, it just keeps getting a little stronger. It's not crazy as far as the winds that are in it.
No.
But it's getting more balanced. It's kind of 32 versus 20.
Okay, so 50 gate to gate. Not a tornado, right? And Tom's right there. But still, there's a mesocyclone. What does shear rate look like?
It just came up one tick, and it's kind of got more of that classic tornado genesis signature. Yeah, a little bit of a hole in it, running from just north of Hollis. So if I'm in Hollis and north of Hollis, lowest level, safe spot, this thing is going to move east-southeast. It might barely miss you folks in Hollis, but it's not going to miss you by much, okay? So there's your hook. All right, and it's going to keep making its way off to the east-southeast, slowly, 10 to 15 miles per hour. It's a slow grind. And then we have the other storm here going up. So, Andrew, Jeremy's still headed off to the west? Yep. Okay. Yeah, he knows what he's doing here. We'll get him in position as well. Okay, so 2 supercells. We have the other, and there goes your split. And not really worried about this northern storm so much that split off. It's not even severe. It's going to produce some small hail, a little bit of wind. And then we have Brandon's storm up here. Marty's coming in on this storm, which it's not severe near Strong City. Just went severe right then. With the hail sizes, though, are not that big in that. Nickel and dime, maybe some quarters, but that's still severe. Yeah, barely severe. But we got to watch that, and that's going to head up towards Leedy and Camargo. Marty Logan's going to be right there. And Brandon's in Enid. You want me to get Brandon Wells further west? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Let's get Brandon. Yes, thank you. Okay. Going west. Okay, let's go to Brandon Pennell. He's on this supercell, right? There's your hook, wrapping in. See the 3 little bands there?
And Brandon, I saw your shot there. Obviously, have your shots up the entire time, and I was like, that's hanging down pretty low.
That's Brandon Wells. That's Brandon Pennell.
I'm sorry. Let's go to Brandon control room.
They have it. That's the right shot. There you go.
I know. We're gonna have to name these. We're gonna have to change their names legally.
Let's just call Wells.
Just Wells.
Yeah.
Just go Wells. Okay. Let's go to Pennell. Pennell.
There you go.
What do you think? There it is. You're looking at the cut. There's some dry air hanging back on that. And what do you think? What's it look like to you in the field right now?
You know, David, it's still kind of in the same maintain and hold situation. It has, the storm itself has started to now move off to the east, it looks like a little bit. And as it started to move off to the east, we noticed that our rotation started to increase. So as it started to get a shove, our rotation at the cloud base really started to increase. It wasn't anything that was screaming tornado, but it's the beginning of an evolution to me that if the storm can maintain itself and continue to maintain strength as it pulls east, the circulation started to increase. And we had a couple different areas. The old one is off to the left, and now our new one, as the storm has moved off to the east, I pan to the right, you can kind of start to see what is now a pretty well-established base, and all of this is pulling around from the southwest back to the northeast. We're on the southwest side of the storm now, so we're going to get up into Eric and then look back to the southwest. Probably be about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll be back in front of it. Back to you.
Brandon's right there. And again, you're seeing what I'm seeing, what he's seeing, and what radar's seeing, and not on the ground. No funnels out of this. Let's go back south now. Thank you, Brandon. Great job. And let's go back to Lynx 1, talk about Tom's storm here. And that's going to be Tom's video right there. And it is rotating. The hook is right here. You see the rain coming in around this whole thing, right? Here's Tom. And new storm now coming into Hollis. So what's going to happen is this storm is bigger. This storm is smaller, but these storms are going to merge. And two things will happen. Either go either way. They're going to become one big storm. Now, with the storm coming in that big, it's going to reorganize. It's too big just to impact it very little. I think it's going to have a bigger impact on it. So they'll become one, and then we'll see what this whole thing turns into. But right now, looking at storm strength, even Tom's storm has weakened some. And the other storm down here has actually come up some. So 2 supercells, and they're going to merge, looks like to me. And what's going to happen is this one might push in so deep on this one that this one becomes a dominant storm. And we call that Tail End Charlie. And then that becomes the storm in southwestern Oklahoma as these merge as one. And then we get a huge storm down here. And like I said, the longer these stay by themselves and they don't, become a linear or try to line out or gust out, as long as they stay by themselves, longer into the evening, I'm talking about the next 1, 2, 3 hours, the tornado threat's going to be at its highest. Okay? All right, so the mesocyclone, the area of spin now, is pretty much right on Highway 30, just north of Hollis. So in Hollis, north of Hollis, off to the east now, tornado safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house. Is it on the ground? It is not. You're looking at it. Let's go back to Tom Pastrano. And Tom, a couple of things going on. You're getting some rain in from the storm to your south, and they're going to merge. I don't see how they don't. So we'll see what that's going to have on the storm itself. It's going to have some impact for sure, Tom, as this storm comes in from the south, and it's going to come in right into your mesocyclone. But right now, what do you think? It looks like it's maybe not as impressive as what it was 10 to 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's right. So I think if it was going to do something, it probably would have done it about 10 minutes ago. So it's probably a good thing that storm is kind of interacting with this one, and we're just going to have to really see what this southern storm does if that becomes kind of the dominant storm. And right now I'm getting an RFD strong winds from my northwest, but it doesn't look nearly as impressive as it did earlier. So I think I'm going to probably just drop towards the south and kind of wait for the storm to come up through Hollis and see what we got. Back to you.
All right, great job, Tom. So Tom, again, underneath that, and and there it is, folks. And there's not been any funnels out of this, right? There's been some scud hanging down, rotating scud. But if you're an amateur storm chaser, you'd be like, woohoo, funnel. Nope. I'm sorry, my friends, not a funnel. Scud hanging down is not a funnel, all right? All right. So that's what the base looks like out of that. And Tom's right there. Okay. Let's go back to Lynx 1. Tom's on it. So we have the one severe storm west of Sayre, and we have the other severe storm. We'll talk about this one too. We're going to go up the line here. Marty's coming in from the north. And also, I know Marty knows this, but make sure he's aware. I know his road. Oh, he's already done it. He's going east. Okay. He knows. All right. So let's go ahead and zoom.
Up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Marty's going east. Okay. He'll catch this thing. Okay. Just east of Roll down to north of Strong City. It is severe. It's moving pretty quickly up towards Camargo right now in Leedy. Going to have some nickels and dimes, maybe some quarters, winds to 60. It's just right now it's a thunderstorm, right? It's got a little bit of some weak mid-level, but certainly not crazy.
Yeah, this is 9,000 feet up that we're hitting that storm, so
yeah,
it is definitely not in the low levels right now.
No, it's got a little bit of mid-level in it, but yeah, like you said, it's high, and it's not like, oh man, look at that, right? Looks like a big blob of, okay?
And it's moving faster, much faster than the rest of them, since it's by itself.
It almost looks like it
elevated.
Looks like a left split, but it's not. But it looks like it took off of another storm. But okay, so let's go down the line here. Let's talk about the I-40 storm, we're calling it. You folks in Sayre, the hook now is on this, but this still looks about the same to me. It's tried. The hook is still hanging back just to the north of Eric. Brandon's right there. This is a severe storm, not tornadic, but the hail is going to be lifting off to the northeast. There's the hook. Now, like I said, it's right over and just north of town. Let's go to Brandon Pennell and get an update from Brandon. And in Brandon, it looks like the hook's going to be just north or on I-40. It looks like right now, just over the Eric feedlot is the hail. In between you and the Eric feedlot is where the wall cloud's going to be, if there is one, or at least the lowering there. What do you think? Give us an...
Okay, David, so we just came through Eric on 66 going east. To me, the storm is it's going through another cycle stage, and it looks to me as if the lowering and the updraft base is going to be just on the southeast side of Eric now. It's kind of back behind us. I'm going east about another half a mile to a mile to turn around and look at it. But the storm is continuing to go through a cycle stage, and it's looking more impressive just back to our southwest now. So in about 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to be able to turn around and have a clear shot back at it to where you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Give me just a minute, and I'll be right back with you. Back to you.
All right. Okay. Stay with it. I know he will, and great job. So let's go back to Lynx 1. Here's what this looks like. You can clearly see the hook, right? Right here. Right on Eric, okay? You folks in Eric, you can see to the north here. You're looking out to the north, rain-free base, right? And here's your hail running from the feedlot over to Hext, and then from there, it's just going to kind of make its way off to the east towards Sayre. You folks in Sayre, get ready for some hail, quarter, maybe some golf balls, and up towards the Sayre Memorial Hospital, which is on the north side of Sayre, and the city landfill. In between the landfill and Sayre, this storm is going to make its way east and then down to I-40, all right? Nickels and dimes and quarters. There is a hook on it. It's not strong enough to get a tornado warning, but it is spinning right back in here. Brandon's right there. All right, let's go back south.
Okay.
And who shot him up? That's Brandon's shot.
That's Brandon, yeah. He turned around. You could see the...
Okay, that looks interesting. That looks a lot different. Okay.
It's moving right at him.
Yeah, let's go back to Brandon again on that. Brandon, I'm going to bring you back in here again. Your shot, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I see the thing hanging down, not a funnel, but in front of you, is that rotating from left to right? Is that thing in the back going from right to left?
Okay, David, so here's what's going on right now. So remember when I was saying that the storm is trying to develop back to the south side of 66? So all of this that's in the shot right now is being pulled from the north back to the south. As I move my truck and I'll pan the shot, looking, you're going to have power lines in it and a tree, and it's the only place I could pull over. But you can start, this is the left side of it, and it's being pulled back from the south to the north. And then this over here is being pulled from the north back to the southwest, and it's all trying to form a broader it's a broad circulation now, but it's trying to all come together where it's a tighter circulation. It was really disrupted, but we can see the core just off to our north is really intensified visually. Lightning is increasing, so this storm is on the uptick right now as it comes through. It's clearing Eric right now, but Sayre, to me, looks maybe just on the south side of Sayre, but you can't take that for granted. It's really trying to get organized, and it's looking better visually as it tracks off to the east-northeast. Back to you.
Okay. All right. So you folks, again, He's in Eric. He's actually east of Eric. This is going to be east of you now in Eric. Okay, this is to your east, but not by much. And let's go back to Lynx 1, and you can see the hook right here, trying to get a little tighter. The hook is trying to come down. And there's your hail to the north of it here, north of Hext, and then east of the Eric feedlot. Your hail's going to be in here, and there's your hook. And that's where Brandon is, looking right at that. Okay, let's go back south where the tornado warning is, and again, we will get a storm track on this. Now, Val is up here in the Vinson storm, and let me see Val's shot. Do we have Val's shot? Oh, there it is. Okay. He's on this. And again, this is a left mover. These normally don't do a whole lot, but, well, wind and hail, sure. And they can produce tornadoes if they become a little bit different in the way they form. We'll see what this does. But Val's looking at that. And then, like we said, these storms they're merging right now. And so Tom's hook is up in here, right? Okay, so see how the mesocyclone went up, crossed Highway 30, and now it's weakening. Okay, so that's because these are coming together. But let's talk about what's going on southwest down here. Let's go back to reflectivity, make sure we got our bearing straight here. Okay, and yeah, it's going to be interesting, huh?
It's not really. I think is that a false artifact almost in that area where the shower's kind of moving.
Yeah, right here.
Off towards the east. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just, you had velocity data turned on.
Right, that's what I'm talking about, velocity data versus where the precip is.
Okay, so I think this mesocyclone, I think this becomes one, obviously it's what we've been talking about, probably it becomes one big storm. And man, look at the hook. Man, that thing was really impressive. This thing's still not over with. Look at the reflectivity. See how this curves? See how this wraps around? That is your meso right there. I mean, that's your area of spin right now. So this is now going to be for central and eastern Harmon County, tornado warning for you. And the meso, though, went up and went down. So we'll see. It has weakened. But what's happening is it's weakening because this storm is now not taken in a small storm. It's taken in a much larger storm, or one of it basically almost as big. And it's kind of disrupted the whole thing. And often when that happens, like what's happening right now, they're going to get together, they're going to shake hands, and they're going to crank up. That's usually what happens. Sometimes it can impact it also in a better way or a positive way, and it doesn't get back to where it was, and we don't get a tornado out of this. And that'd be just fine. But right now, these are becoming one, and that's going to be a large storm.
And David, the track that I have on Lynx 3, I went ahead and I just kind of put a track on that whole thing since they're merging together right now.
Yeah, okay, let's go to Lynx 3 control room. Thank you, Cassie. And let's do that on Lynx 3, and there it is. Moving easterly, we'll say American Gypsum at 617. Is that a real place? Huh.
I've never heard of that.
I haven't either.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, let's find out where they are. We need a phone call from them. Badgers Farm Center. Did we just add some new cities? Did we just do all this? All right, Duke, 621. Martha, 646. Blair, at about 7 o'clock. Altus at 7:05. Hedrick at about 7:39. Altus, you've got time, but this is going to try to go right down Highway 62. Right down Highway 62. So these are now becoming one. It's a little bit disorganized. It is still a big storm. Again, moving east. The northern storm, the one that Val's on, continues to make its way off to the northeast here.
David?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say a couple notes. One, Hank just told me that American Gypsum is a drywall manufacturing
that's what
company.
Banda was just saying.
And then also the new warning is for hail up to tennis ball size.
Okay. All right.
So it's business in Duke.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It's a business.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. And because you were watching it live with us, we watched this thing weaken, and it's no longer tornadic, but this is going to be a temporary thing, is that I think that these are going to merge, and well, it's happening right now. They're already merging. And then we'll see if we don't get another hook to develop, and if we can get another tornado warning out of this as it moves down Highway 60. Again, this is going to be a big storm. That low-level jet is kicking in, and this thing is going to go right down Highway 62 into Duke, into Martha, into Blair. Mangum, you might get lucky, and this storm might go just south of you. Then the northern storm up near Vinson might go, oh, obviously that's going to go to your north up towards Willow. And that storm's actually getting a little bit better organized. A little bit better organized. Okay, what about the storm up north here? Let's take a look at that.
You want to go to Links 1?
Yeah.
Okay. There's Links 1. I just zoomed out to show you what's going on south of the Red River, too.
Okay.
To keep an eye on. Storm may come up eventually and cross the Red River near Kroll.
Okay, we need to be, yeah.
So, we'll
okay.
see how far it makes it.
I'd say what? I'm thinking here, thinking out loud.
I can see it.
Okay, we might have to do something with Hank here or Vaughn. Okay. All right, let's, hey, Andrew, do this for me. Do me a favor. Go ahead and get Hank southbound.
Okay.
Let's get him a little farther south, down towards Hobart. And we'll see what this Texas stuff does. And Texas might try to give us some problems. We can handle them. We don't like them. But we'll see what happens when this stuff comes out of Texas. It might weaken as it comes across the red, but we're not going to take that chance. It's still way down here, still a ways away, but we'll get Hank down south. We'll see what this thing does. All right. I'm looking at our shots here. You are too. They're right here. All right, so severe storms all out west, moving their way northeast. The storms in the far west are crawling east. What is that shot? Let's go to that shot right there. Let's go to Tom. Tom Pastrano. Let's go to Tom Pastrano, control room. Tom, is that a tornado? Is it on the ground? What is that?
No. So
what is
this
that?
This is the old meso. It is a lowering, but it is not on the ground. But it looks pretty ominous there. I don't see a bunch of motion in there, but that is where the old meso was and still is. I mean, it still looks pretty impressive, but it's completely wrapped in the rain.
That's right back there, though, where it should be. Are you looking off to the northwest?
Yes,
Yeah.
To my northwest.
That's it. I mean, that's it. When I saw your shot just up, I was like, hang on a second, because that was really starting to, it was starting to come to a point and trying to cone out there a little bit. So.
Okay, tornado warning coming, Cassie's saying, for Brandon Storm up near Eric and Sayer.
Okay, new tornado warning now for the storm up north. The storm down south, we'll probably get another tornado warning out of this. Golly, that thing is really. Okay, so let's go back to Links 1. This is the old mesocyclone, which is right here. Okay, looking right here. And then Tom, and then we have Jeremy coming in from the east. This is going to develop probably into it already is, a bigger storm. Now, these have merged. It's now one. We'll probably get a hook back here on the south side. Okay? All right, let's go north. And let's go up here and take a look at the storm now. Up here, tornado warning now. And we were talking about this storm. Brandon was giving you play-by-play of this thing ramping up and getting tighter. And that's exactly what it's doing right here. Here's Brandon. All right, Brandon, we have your shot. This thing is crawling down I-40. You folks in Sayre, south down to I-40, back to Hext, east of Eric. Eric, you're out of this. This is going to be to your east, anywhere along the I-40 corridor, lowest level, safe spot. You got to go. All right, let's go to Brandon. Let's find out what this thing's doing. Brandon Panel, give us an update. And we have your shot up. I know you're headed off to the east. If you can, give us a turnaround shot. I see the feeder band to your left. When you get a second there, turn in somewhere and give us a shot of that. Go ahead and give us an update as you're looking at the storm. Go ahead.
Yeah, David. So we're in the repositioning stage because we got blocked on I-40 and then there's some trees. It looked to me like there was a pretty good RFD surge that started to come around, and everything was trying to tighten, but nothing could localize. That's why we went ahead and made the move while we could. So I'm going to flip around now and see what it looks like. It's about 2 minutes ago when we started moving. So the base does look a lot better. There's definitely nothing on the ground as you look back at the shot. I would say the circulation is still fairly broad, and it's basically crawling right on I-40 now. You can, if I zoom in just a little bit, you'll be able to see the semis on I-40. So the circulation is going to be right over the top of I-40 and Highway 66 on the east side of Eric. And even though it's picked up some speed, it's not moving dramatically. There is quite a bit of lift going on right now that's increased in probably the last 15 minutes. As I was saying earlier, as the storm finally started to get a surge to the east, that's when the rotation really started to increase.
Right here.
We're looking, there's still kind of two areas. There's one that we're looking at right here and then there's another one kind of out in front of that. They've kind of been fighting each other, so it tries to get pulled back in, and then it kind of surges out again, and it shoves off to the east. We honestly thought, just visually on the looking at radar, that the storm was trying to weaken, but I think it's just going through another cycle like we continue to see the storm do. And if these two areas can figure themselves out and become localized, this may be something of concern here in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes, because there's a lot more movement in the cloud base going on right now. Over 66 and I-40 east of Eric.
Okay, we see your shot looks great, and obviously nothing on the ground. This is the tornado warning. That is not a funnel. I'm telling you, I know people call things like that funnels all the time. It's not a funnel. It's a piece of scud. It's part of the mesocyclone. It's part of the lowering. It's part of the wall cloud. But it can be the beginning of tornadogenesis, but that is not a funnel.
David,
yeah.
Jeremy said he thinks he might have something in his shot.
All right, let's go back to Jeremy, get an update from Jeremy Carter, and he's on that southern storm. Jeremy, I see rain on the right, and I see a little bit of it looks like a tag hanging down on the left side of the core, at least some rain in there, and you're looking back.
Yeah,
Yep. Go ahead, take it.
Anyway, yeah, it almost is moving around quite a bit. It almost really looked like it had the look of a funnel just right before you got to me, but definitely there's some scud pulling in. And the south end of this storm, I think this meso is about to try to get organized and come together and form back a stronger meso back here on the south end of this storm, just west of Duke. David, back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job. We'll stay with this, and I know Jeremy will, because here's the deal. He's helping Tom out. We have two areas of spin that we're watching, the old meso and then the new meso. Okay, let me see his shot here again. Okay, let's go back to links 1. And here's Jeremy right here, and he was looking back off to the southwest. Now keep an eye on Brandon's shot. That's looking a little bit uglier, a little bit lower, trying to localize, trying to tighten up, right? Tornado warning continues for Brandon's shot, and also for, wow, that's really, wow. That took 5 minutes. That took 5 minutes. All right, let's go to Val Castor. Let's bring in Val.
Okay,
Val's right here, coming in from the north. Let's bring in Val. He's on the same storm as Tom. Go ahead, Val, coming in from the north. Tornado warning continues for your storm south of Hollis now. Go ahead, give us an update. 2 tornado warnings in effect right now for western Oklahoma. Go.
All right, so we're 2 miles south of Hollis, David, and this is the new meso that quickly formed down here when these two storms merged. That lowering right there wasn't there just a little bit ago. It's formed quickly, and that's the new area of rotation, and the location on that's going to be, I would say, 3.5, maybe 4 miles at the most, southeast of Hollis. Not moving super fast, but there it is right there, and it's getting bigger. We're watching it. I'm not really noticing the rotation just yet. I mean, it probably has slow rotation at this point, but it's just in the process of getting organized. We're going to keep an eye on it. Back to you.
Okay, nice job. So that's the lowering. That's Val coming in from the north. And again, Tom is right there on the south side. Val is on the north side coming in here. That's the lowering. You can clearly see that there is no tornado on the ground, but it is certainly rotating. And it's not off the charts rotating, but it does have the mesocyclone. Look at him flipping cameras here. There's more flipping and flopping going on right now. All right, let's go back to links 1. And tornado warning now west of Sayre. This storm is getting its act together. It was a left split, but it's not looking like a left split where the hook's on the backside, and it looks more like we'll call it a classic supercell. We got to watch that. Hank's going to be on that shortly. And then we have the big storm down here that Jeremy, Tom, and Val are on. Our storms have now merged into one. I'm looking at Tom's shot. I'm looking at Val's shot. I'm looking at Jeremy's shot. And has it tightened up enough? I don't think it's...
No.
Not yet.
The hook developed, and the hook's a little bit disorganized at the moment. And it's very stretched out, but it's definitely organizing. You can just see it right in front of you.
Yeah. What does shear rate look like out of FDR? What do you... Okay.
About the same, yeah.
We got, we've got things going on. Okay, so tornado warning again for You folks in Hollis, you're getting storms right now and rain, but the old hook was north of you, and then the new hook is south of you folks in Hollis as it heads down towards Star Valley. All right, so there's your hook right here, and that's going to keep making its way off to the east-southeast. Okay, and holler, Cass, let's do a couple of storm tracks on these when you get them. We can kind of go down the line. All right. I see a little tag hanging down in Val shot. All right, so the hail down here, by the way, man, I'm really surprised the hail's not bigger than that, but it is still reorganizing, but nickels and dimes and quarters, nothing crazy. But if you live in Duke or Prairie Hill or Victory, Hester, Martha, Altus, you're a ways away, but it's coming.
Considering the the instability in the Cape down there is at like 5,500.
Yeah.
I mean, it's maxing out. So you would think you'd have much bigger hail. Maybe we'll get that later. Hopefully not. But there's so much fuel in this part of the state currently.
Yeah. I mean, this is a powder keg. I mean, there's lots of juice. There's gasoline waiting down here. You know, it's high octane for sure. Okay, I see. Whose shot is that? That's Val's shot. All right. Now, okay, I'm going to point this out. Look at this storm. And I want to point out a couple of things, and just see how it starts to do this? I'm telling you, this thing is tightening up right now. Look at the bands. It's pulling in so much from the east, the northeast, and the southeast that you start to get these bands of rain, these fingers, right? These fingers looking back at you, and these are just feeder bands coming in from the northeast that basically they have rain in them, but they're bands of precip inside the anvil and also at the lower levels that start to wrap back into this. And that is a large storm. You take that and put that over Oklahoma County, we're all getting it right now, right? But the hook is now beginning to localize on this side of the storm. We have Val, we have Tom, and we have Jeremy right here. It's still there. There's your spin. It's right here. Val's right there. And trackers have it covered. Everybody right down the line.
David, the tracks are ready on 3.
Let's go to Links 3 control room. And we're going to do a track on this whole thing here. Let me give you an update.
So I just
no, it's fine.
Two tornado warnings. Yeah.
That's good. And we've taken it down to Elmer in case it makes a little more of a right turn. Elmer probably going to go north of you, but if you live in Star Valley, 613. We got dust blowing. Okay, Duke at about 7 o'clock and Olesi at about 7:29. Let's go back to Val's shot. Let's make sure this dust is not spinning. Could be a gustnado. It could be dust being pulled into the updraft, which is right above that. Val, is that dust being pulled into the updraft right above you? What do you think?
No, that's inflow dust. David, I'm looking to the southeast right here. That is definitely inflow dust, and it was spinning just a minute ago. It was definitely a gustnado. It still might be spinning right there. If you look at it real close, it almost looks like it is spinning very, very slowly. Not a tornado, but definitely a gustnado. At least it started out as a gustnado. So, you know, that's also right under the blinking line right there, too, on the RFD, something that really needs to be watched. But that's in the right on the RFD inflow interface, I guess you could say. Back to you, David.
Okay. We're rolling on Val, correctly? Just want to make sure. All right. Okay, so this shot, let me show you what's going on here. He is looking off to his east. Look at the wheat down here, by the way. I want to point that out. Wheat looks good. Wheat looks good. All right. I'm not a farmer. I'm just saying it looks good. It's golden. I like it. All right. It's not laid down due to wind and hail and all that, right? All right. So here's Val. Here's Tom. We're going to go check in with Tom coming up. And Val's right here. There's your mesocyclone. Hollis is here. This is to the southeast of Hollis. Moving east, here's McQueen, here's Gold, and there's Tom. Tom's going to drop south on Highway 5, looking back to his west. And look at the tail cloud on Jeremy's deal. Oh, boy, look at that. All right, let's go to Tom Pastrano. Tornado warning continues. Then we'll go back to Brandon. Let's go to Tom. And Tom, there you go. Kind of widen out. There you go. And here comes the feeder band to your right. Tom, how fast is all that spinning together coming in there? And can you see Val's dust from your shot? Go ahead.
Yeah, not from my shot. That dust kind of pushed way out to the south of that meso. But this is, I have moderate, it's not rotation, but it's a feeder band coming in from the northeast. And the main rotation is going to be south of the core there. It looked a little bit better 5 minutes ago. I am starting to get some hail. Nothing huge yet, probably some quarters. Probably quarters are the biggest hail. So I got to cut south because the rain and the hail are kind of blocking my view. But just wanted to give you a shot of what I'm looking at here.
Oh my gosh.
Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job, Tom. Well, you can see the rotation there. It's not crazy strong. Let's go back to Val Castor and get an update from Val. And Val, what's your dust look like? Let's take Val Castor's shot. And Val, okay, what do you think? What do you see? Anything hanging down? Looks like it's on the ground. Go ahead, Val. Give us an update. Castor, we have your shot up.
I'm David.
Yeah,
David.
Go ahead.
Amy's going to pan up right now and look at that's basically where the rotation is. It's very weak rotation. It's nothing crazy. And back to the south, you were asking about the dust. I'm going to turn over here. It looks like we got some more dust being kicked up. And there it is right there in the shot. And that's basically on the RFD, you could say. And that's to our south, maybe a mile or so. We saw what looked like a couple of weak Gustnados. And you know what? If you look at that dust real close, it's definitely a spinning. That dust is spinning, and I'm just going to say right now, I mean, I can't say it's anything more than a Gustnado.
Hang on.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching it close because it is spinning.
Yeah, Val.
And it's right beneath the base. Yeah. David, it's right beneath the base.
Yeah, Val, I think this is either a strong Gustnado or a weak tornado.
That's one of the two. I don't see any condensation above it at all.
No, I don't
No
either.
condensation, but that thing is rotating.
Yeah, no, it is. But also notice how quickly and fast the wind changed, and it moved it from right to left. Also, did you see how fast it just went from right to left? Like, and a tornado's not quite going to do that fast. But it's definitely spinning here. Val, is the dust attached to the base? It's getting stronger.
What? It's working on it, David. It's working on it. The dust is maybe halfway up to the base at this point.
Okay, Val.
Look at that. It's getting bigger.
Yeah, it might. This might turn into it. It might turn into it here. All right, let's
very well might.
Okay, let's go.
That's on the flank, David.
Okay, so this, again, this is right where it should be. It's definitely, we know a Gustnado might be, here's the deal. A Gustnado.
Shot.
Yeah, we'll get a Tom shot here. And again, this whole thing is spinning. It's either a strong Gustnado or a weak tornado. But there it is. Look at the spin going on. Let's go to Tom Pastrano and bring in Tom's shot here. Let's go to Tom. Tom, take his shot. Tom, is it attached? Is it a Gustnado that's moving from right to left? What do you think? Or is it an actual tornado? Go ahead.
Yeah, for a brief period, it did go all the way to the base, and it almost looked like a tube. I mean, you can see it right there in my shot. So it could be a weak tornado. It's a lot of dust, and it's extending all the way up into the base. There's some pretty strong rotation in there. So there we go.
It's close, and Tom knows this. You can get dust that will extend all the way to the base, and it's still not a tornado, right? And we'll see what it does here. But it was moving so quickly that I was thinking, well, hang on a second. Let's go back to Val. And again, this is going to let's go back to Val Castor. Let's take his shot control room. And Val, there it is. What do you think? Is it a Gustnado or is it a tornado?
So if you can hear me right now, so here's what I think. The main rotation with the storm is to the north of where the dust is, maybe a mile and a half. And I almost think, David, that maybe the rotation at the cloud base level might extend to the south and curve back down to where that rotation is. It's very possible. I can't confirm that, actually, but I'm up in the air right now. It could be a tornado. It could be a very, very weak tornado, or it still could be a strong Gustnado at this point. But I think it's very possible that the weak rotation in the clouds above might angle back towards the south. We can't really see. There's no condensation to really, alert us to the fact that that's what it's doing. But there is weak rotation to the north, about a mile to the north of it.
Yeah.
So it appears that it's not quite as strong as it was just a second ago.
Yeah. No, we agree with that, and that's what radar kind of says. But you're right where you should be. The question is this more of a, like you were saying, winds in this, by the way, if you get hit by that, your winds might be, 60, 50, 60 miles per hour. That would be max.
The radar winds are 35 to 40 within that couplet. And the couplet's not extremely tight. The low level of circulation is getting tighter for sure on radar. And this is going to be just about a mile or two south of Gould, crossing Highway 5 eventually.
Yep. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1. And Tom's there. And I'm looking at Tom's shot. And I still see that. So here's the... So remember, the mesocyclone is a cylinder, right? It's just an area of spin that goes all the way up. And you act like you're on top of this thunderstorm looking down through that mesocyclone. Air is rotating all the way down to the ground around that mesocyclone, that cylinder. And we have, a west wind, a northwest wind going up against an east wind. So you have an area of spin. And then you get down to the micro levels here. You get down to we're talking about what we're looking at in Val's shot. And he's right there. Again, Jeremy, Tom, and Val are all here together looking right at this thing. Circulation is still pretty broad, but, that could have been a weak tornado or it's going to be a gustnado. And control room, if we can get that edited and flipped, please let me know when we have that again.
And Jeremy and Val are both getting hail, golf balls, or just larger.
Okay, all right. Okay, so shear rate's maxing out here, right over Tom and Jeremy. What does Jeremy see in his shot?
While you're looking at that, the supercell to the north, that left split headed towards Willow, is developing a hook. And we still have the tornado-warned storm coming up towards Sayre.
Let's go back north.
But Brandon's there as well.
And right now, nothing on the ground down here right now. This storm has weakened. The storm's not weakened, but the area of spin's weakened a bit. Okay, let's go north now. And big storm, big hook down here. This storm is shrinking, but the hail core is still pretty intense. Got a little bit of a hook on it. We're going to keep an eye on that. Let's go farther north now. And got more dust coming up in Val's shot. We'll go back to that here in a second. Tornado warning continues. This is well east of Eric.
And while you're showing that, David, had a report from the emergency manager in Eric saying that mile marker 11 on I-40, there was a semi overturn, likely due to RFD, or that wind wrapping around that. So 11 miles from the Texas border on I-40, a semi overturn.
11 miles into Oklahoma, right, from the Texas border. We had a semi overturn there due to winds, again, on the backside of this, or, winds from this storm. So there you go, overturned semi. That'll get your attention. So the hail now coming into Sayre. Brandon's right here. Let's go to Brandon Pennell and get an update. There's your meso. It's right here. It's just about on top of Brandon. Brandon, what do you think? It's still spinning. I don't see any dust. I don't see anything hanging down, but I say that. I see the lowering there. What's it look like to you there visually? How fast is that rotating?
David, it's kind of just more of the same with this storm. It really tries to intensify. It's a real broad circulation. It tries to come together, and then it gets a little RFD surge like we were talking about earlier, and it makes a trudge off to the east, and it kind of gets disrupted, and a new base or a lowered base forms out to the east of that, and it's been the trend for probably the last 30 to 45 minutes. I would say, just looking at it, the core is strengthening. I definitely can't see anything on the ground. I can see all the way underneath all of this. But the circulation is definitely there. It's just a matter, is it going to all come together in one localized area, or is it going to stay stretched out and really broad? So we're staying right underneath it down 66 as it comes into the southwest and west sides of Sayre. Back to you.
All right, so we have that storm covered as well. All the storms are covered here. Let's go back to Lynx 1. And again, here's Brandon right here. Area of spin is just to his east. There's the hook. Hail now coming into Sayre. Sayre's getting some hail for sure. And around Sayre, let's go ahead and lapse this, just see what it does.
Okay.
Going down Highway 152, pretty much down 152. Might go a little bit east-northeast of that. We'll get a storm track on that. Let's go back south now, talk about the southern storm. Tornado warning again on Brandon's storm.
66-mile-an-hour wind gust, David, 3 miles west of Gould. That's the Oklahoma mesonet. So that's the south storm you're talking about.
Yep, okay. So, and by the way, this storm is producing golf balls, maybe tennis balls now. Hank's coming in on that. That's going to end up going to Willow and Brinkman, and it's going to be just west of Bloomington down here. So that's going to be big damaging hail, okay? We're talking about tennis balls, maybe even some baseballs in here, but for sure, golf balls and tennis balls. And that's going to be making its way east towards Willow. Then eventually, if it holds together, Hobart, down the line, Godebo, Carnegie. We'll have to wait and see. Big storm of the day so far. has been down here. We've had, again, at least one weak tornado or a Gustnado. We'll probably argue about this for a while, but look at the hook now, folks. It's exactly what it did, what we thought it was going to do, right? Storms merged, reorganized, weakened, ramped back up as they became one, and now they're like, okay, now we're the big guy in town, right? We got the whole area down here to ourselves, and we're going to take in all the moisture, all the instability. We're going to take in that low-level jet, and we're just going to see how far we can go. There's your mesocyclone right here, south of Gould, and then just southwest of McQueen. All right, let's go back to Val, and then we'll go to Tom. Let's go to Val Castor. He's right here. And Val, area of spin, you're right there looking right at it. Your shot's frozen right now, but it'll get better. There it is. All right, give us an update, Val. What do you think? What's the rotation look like now? Go ahead.
All right, so I think we're coming up. The camera shot is looking east, and I think the main area of rotation is right where we're looking, just to our east. So you see the little lowerings and all that right there in the tags and stuff like that. That's probably where the main area is. So after we talked to you earlier and we had that pretty good Gustnado or maybe even possibly a tornado form just about a mile west of that, we had another dust whirl on the ground, but this one had a little tube that extended from the ground about halfway up to the cloud base, basically on the flank right there. So strange things going on down here. A lot of movement, a lot of chaotic movement going on. Also, David, we had 2-inch hail just back about 2 miles west and northwest of here. So this storm is definitely packing a punch. We're tracking it. Back to you.
All right, nice job. Great job, Val. So there it is. You're looking right at it, not on the ground. Tornado warning continues. Again, this is going to be well south and east of Hollis. This is, it's going to be southwest of Duke here. All right, let's go back to, look at the hook now. Look at the storm now. Now we're doing something. Okay, look at the size of this. Look at the bands of precip coming in from the east. 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, screaming eagle. Matter of fact, it looks like 2 eagles flying together, coming together with one big beak on the south side. I mean, that is a classic monster storm. Big hail in here, big hail. You folks in Duke, you're going to get trashed, and it's going to go right down Highway 62. There's your big hook. Tom's there, Val's there. Let's go to Tom Pastrano now, and then Cassie, I promise we'll get the storm tracks ready. I'm coming to you. All right, so Tom, what do you think? You're right underneath it, and you're right there. What do you think when you look up? Give us an update.
Yeah, so I was right underneath it. I didn't really have a great shot from repositioning, but it did have some strong rotation. The storm itself, the way it looks like it's getting better organized. So, yeah, it could do something here in the next few minutes.
All right.
Right back in position. Back to you.
Okay, yeah. Just keep out ahead of it, Tom. Get a little farther east, give us a shot, and we'll take your shot again. All right, is it moving more east-southeast still?
It is, yeah. I'll lapse it, and you can see.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Andrew, make sure Tom knows that it's moving east-southeast, not east right now. And unless it occludes, it's going to get down towards Prairie Hill. It's going to go to a Lusty. And
that's what I have the track doing, is going east-southeast.
Okay, let's go to Link Street. Look at the sides of the storm.
Yeah,
big hail.
25
hook.
miles wide.
Okay, and look at, whose shot's that?
Which one?
That's Brandon's shot.
Brandon up north.
Yeah, wow. It's got a little wrap on it. Okay, so here's your storm tracks. And again, this is going to be back on the hook, right? It's on the most dangerous part of the storm right now, where the tornado warning is, right here. American Gypsum at 649. Badgers Farm Center 651. Duke 652. Olustee 718. Altus Air Force Base, all the above at 730. We'll say Elmer 733. Hedrick at 8 o'clock, and Tipton at about 8:02. Southwestern Oklahoma, the least you're going to get if the storm arrives at your doorstep. Big hail, big wind. And again, the tornado is going to be right back in here. The tornado right now is going to go south to 62. It looks like right now. It'll go south to 62. Okay, so the next storm up the line, this is the one that Hank's getting in on. Brinkman 639. Big hail in that too. Tennis balls in this one. Willow 645. Lone Wolf 715. Hobart 737. And Godebo out about 810. That's the middle storm. And the northern storm, now no longer a tornado warning on it. But I'll tell you what, it looks impressive right now. Looking at Brandon's shot, Clinton, Airport, 732, Dill City, 736, Burns Flat, 737, and Cordell at about 801. So those are the 3 games we have going on right now, right? 1, 2, 3. Biggest, largest, strongest, middle of the road. Both these storms are still strong, still severe, and big hail. But look at the size difference between those two, which those are still impressive storms compared to that monster. That's in beast mode right now. And man, Brandon's shot, I tell you what, it does look impressive. Okay, let's go back to this.
On links 1, David, we've got the volumetrics to show. Okay. You're talking about it being so monstrous in size. Yeah. The tops of it are going almost to 60,000 feet.
I said that earlier. Okay, so there's the top of the whole storm. That line behind it, right, is to 60,000 feet, right? 60,000 feet. When you're flying an airplane, you're right in here. You're about 35 to 40. This is why airlines don't fly into these. They used to kind of fly a little too close. We don't do that anymore. And they just fly around them. We'll take away some of the top. We'll get the hail core. Look at the mesocyclone. Look at the highest reflectivity, and look at the hook wrapping in around. And you can see where our trackers are right underneath it. Right underneath it here. That is a big, big storm. Look at that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, fly in here real quick. Let's just take a closer look. I just kind of want to get on giddy on this.
Okay, you can see the hook. I mean, just right there.
Yeah, look at this. Vault. I mean, kind of go back in that just for a second. Look at the vault here. Go in. Yeah, look how this. You can go inside this, right? If you're a weather nerd or you're not, I don't care who you are. You got to like that. That's impressive. It's a big storm. 60,000 feet, folks. 60,000 feet. Yeah, they could get higher, but you got to respect that. That's going to have big hail for sure.
And I'm going to put this back into 2D mode and take this off and just show you the hail core now, David, and the hook. And look at it almost looks like it's got debris, but it's probably just precip wrapping around.
All right. Wow. All right, so Andrew, have our trackers get their shots up because they're not up. I mean, they're up, but they're not in position. So Andrew, tell them to get, because I want to go to them. Tell them to stop and give me a shot. And tell Val his shot's locked up. And tell Tom to pull over and give me a shot of this thing if he can. All right, where's Tom on this? What happened to him? Oh, he's down south. I see what he's doing. Okay, let's go to Val Castor. I know his shot's frozen. Let's take it for a second. I want to bring Val in. And Val, big hook, your shot is frozen. And give us an update as you, I know you're making your way to the east. Val, your hook is moving east-southeast. It might turn more easterly, but it's moving east-southeast. Tornado warning continues. Go ahead, Val. Give us an update on what you see. Your shot is still frozen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're right in the inflow region here. We're right in the area of the hook, and I can giving you the facts. We have weak rotation that I can see in the cloud base. We have lowerings that we see there. Most of the time, they're not super organized, a little unorganized. There's a lot of motion going on up there. We can see rising motion and chaotic motion, but generally right now, weak rotation with the storm, but definitely rotating at the cloud base level. We have not seen any funnels or anything like that since we had the rotating dust on the ground earlier, David, but we continue to see every now and then hail falling too. So this thing does have 2-inch and possibly larger hail. So we're going to keep a good watch on it. We're watching it. We're tracking it. Back to you.
All right. Nice job. Okay. So let's go back to links 1. And there's the meso. It's right out his left window. He shots down right now, but it's right out his left window. There's the hook. There's the inflow notch. This is where the storm is just completely breathing. It's alive and well. Gargantuan hail core running from, west of Prairie Hill to west of Duke to McQueen to south of Russell. This is all wind and rain and hail in here, big hail, all right? And then here's your hook. Here's your inflow notch, tightening up right now. And this thing, again, is moving east-southeast. Here's what it does. It moves east, and then it moves southeast. Tornado warning continues right here. This is Val. And Jeremy's to the north. What does Jeremy have in his shot? All right, and Andrew, can you have Tom does he have a shot for me?
Not at the moment.
Okay,
He's
ask him
to make the turn to the east, it looks like.
Okay, because I need to get a shot from these guys here coming up. And Tom, Andrew, tell Tom he has to get eastbound and down. He'll know what that means.
And Jeremy said he's got a shot for you.
Okay, all right, let's go to Jeremy Carter. And Jeremy's on the north side of the hook, looking off to the south. Jeremy, what do you think? Give us an update. Not the best visibility. Got some hail in there. Go ahead.
Of course not. Yeah, some giant hail in here. But the bases, you can see it pretty good just right off to my south. But the wind is pretty crazy in here, and the hail's really strong. I don't know if you can see the wind curtains wrapping around, but I don't see any spinning motion at this point. Whenever I come up here, when I first pulled into town, first laid eyes on it, there was a little bit of spin, but I can't make any of that out right now, David. Back to you.
Yeah, great job, Jeremy. So not on the ground, but continues to rotate, and Jeremy's got to get a little bit farther south. Jeremy, if you can hear me, you need to come south, okay? Jeremy Carter, if you can hear me, you've got to get south. You're going to get gobbled up by the wind and the hail, and you're going to lose it. You got to get east, and you got to get south. You got to get south, Jeremy Carter. Okay, let's go back to Links 1 and take a look at it here. Val is making his way through. Here's the hook. Here's Tom down here. Tom is making his way off to the east. And what's the speed on the storm right now? What are we doing here? We're still at 15, 20?
20, at least 20.
Okay. So let's see. Yep. It's still lunging southeast. The hook is. All right. So this is the only tornado warning we have right now in southwest Oklahoma. Big hail coming into Duke, going down Highway 62. You folks in Altus, you're going to get it. I'm talking about hail. And you can see all this back to your west. Winds in here, by the way, 60, 70 miles per hour. Damaging wind. There's your mesocyclone. Starting to see some higher reflectivity here on the winds. Yeah, so what's Val going to do here? Let's go back to Val. Let's go back to Val Castor, take his shot. I like what I'm seeing. Let's go to Val. And Val Castor, a couple of things here. You got to be paying attention to your roads, because just to your east are not very good. And that storm itself, your hook is moving east-southeast, okay? It's moving east-southeast, but you're going to have some road problems ahead. I know you and Amy have got it figured out, but just remember, your roads are not good just to your east, at least for a little bit. Go ahead, Val.
All right, so David, you're right, and we just now have to turn south, and we are going to have to go 4 miles south to find an east road across this river area over here. I mean, there's no way to get across for 4 miles. But looking back to the north and northeast, we think that it wraps into our north, almost due north of us, and it almost looks like to me it's trying to strengthen. We can see a feature up there, looks like a lowering, but that's where it looks like it wraps in, maybe a couple miles north of us, David.
Okay. All right. Yeah, all right. Getting a report. What'd you say, Andrew? Highway 6?
Tom had mentioned that there was a closure on Highway 6 near 34.
Okay.
So that's something that they're also going to have to deal with as they come back around.
Make sure that Val knows that. Make sure Val knows what Tom just said.
Yeah. While you're looking at that, the velocity data is still tightening up scan by scan south of McLean.
Andrew, take Val off. He's hot. Okay, go ahead, Lacey. I
was just showing you the velocity here, David, on Links 1 is tightening up south of McQueen. That's about 4 miles south of McQueen, south of Highway 62. And it's still moving east-southeasterly. Yeah, and you can see it diving here. And what's a little bit interesting is that the winds here, and these winds as well, are starting to increase. So we might be the beginning of tornado genesis right here. As the winds are ramping up from the northwest and ramping up from the southeast. And this thing might be trying to do one of these, and we'll call that the double whammy right here. And it might try to happen just to the north of Val, and we'll see. But here's the spin. Here's where your tornado is going to be, right here, clearly showing up on shear rate, on velocity data. Jeremy to the north, he's making his way off to the east. Big hail, again, going down 62. I'll say it again. Duke, Altus, prepare for a damaging hailstorm. And here's your hook. Possible tornado right here. It's not on the ground, though. It doesn't look like it. Val's got it in sight. So does Jeremy. And I think, what do your roads do here? We got to get Jeremy Yeah, they get squirrely for sure, David. While you're looking at that, I just want to point out for Sayre, the storm is severe over town. Brandon's on it. There's no tornado warning with it.
Okay.
The circulation's weakened.
Let's go back north. That's fine. Yeah, let's jump back north here.
And then the storm further north that Hank is on, the hail core, is just tremendous, trying to approach maybe Willow, maybe north.
Okay, so Hank's on that. I see Hank shot.
Yep. And there is circulation.
Is Hank moving? Yeah, we need to get him.
It might be frozen. I'm not sure at the moment. Oh, it has windshield wipers.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we get a little. Andrew, let's make sure Hank gets in on that meso back there. All right, so it's not again.
Val's got a shot.
All right, let's go to Valcaster. Let's jump back south again. Possible tornado now. Val, what do you think? Is it on the ground or what are we looking at here? I know it's kind of messy down there. Go ahead. It's trying, Val. It's trying. We don't have Val. Andrew.
Yeah, it's trying. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can now. Go ahead.
Okay, so we got a funnel. It made its way about halfway to the ground. That is looking straight north of us, due north. We're on a dusty road here with about 80,000 other chasers. And that thing to our north there is about halfway to the ground. I don't see any debris being picked up or anything like that at the moment, but we are cut off from going east at all just because of this river. I know our shot keeps going in and out, but we're watching that. That's right where the rotation is. That's right where the developing shear, the strengthening shear is to our north. So, David, we got half a mile to go before we can go east and then north again, but we're going to be on it in a minute. Back to you. Okay.
All right. Nice job. So this right here, again, you can see the left side of this thing. It doesn't look like it's on the ground right now. And even velocity data, no doubt about it. It's a mesocyclone. It's got a hook. It's got it's got all that it needs to do something. But there's the hook. Big hail running from McQueen back down to Prairie Hill, and big hail going to Duke. Big hail possibly going to Altus. If this whole thing moves a little more southeast, you might miss the biggest hail in Altus, but I wouldn't count on it. If I live in Altus, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with my car and anything I want to protect. But again, so there's that. There's your hook. So the tornado warning again is going to continue for if you live in Prairieville back to the southwest of Duke. The tornado is going to be right here. Val's dropping south. He's got to make its way east and then back to the north. This thing is really trying to tighten up. What does velocity data look like now out of this? What are you seeing that? Yeah, it's there, but it's. I mean, there's a lot of wind in there. There's a lot of wind.
Yeah, there's no actual couplet at the moment.
No.
Where you've got a really tight circulation. It's just very broad. But
yeah.
It's only a matter of time before we know exactly where this thing's going to go.
Yeah. And like we said, the tornado threat, the chance of a tornado increases between, 6 o'clock and about 9 o'clock. We're kind of in that window here where the threat of a tornado is actually higher than it was at 4 or 5 o'clock today because of that low-level jet. But you can see the hook right here, right there, waiting for a tornado. We'll see. Jeremy's on the north side. And, hey, Andrew, at Duke, I think his roads are good. At Duke, I want Jeremy Carter to drop south out of Duke and head down Highway 34. At Duke, he's 2 miles away. At Duke, make a right turn, go south. Make sure he hears that.
That's exactly what he said he was going to do. He just said that in my ear. Okay.
All right, good. I want him, he's got to get out of the hail. I want him south down here. I'm going to see what this thing looks like. All right, so tornado warning again. This is going to be now leaving, it's still in southeastern Harmon County, coming into far western Jackson County. Tornado warning for you. And I want to point out, remember, here's Altus, right? The dangerous part of the storm is right back in here. There's a hook now coming out of Harmon into Jackson County. Okay, there's your big hook, big supercell. I mean, it's a large storm, okay? And it's going to make its way off to the east-southeast at about 20 miles per hour. Let's do a couple of storm tracks on this, moving east-southeast. And Cass, holler when you get it.
You just want to do it on the tornado warning part or the whole thing?
Let's do on the let's do the tornado part first.
Okay.
And just to show you, David, we were watching that supercell down to the southwest. It kind of vaporized, so there's nothing much going on south of the Red River.
Oh, that's great. So that's not headed to Oklahoma anymore. It died. The other one down there it's dying out near Weatherford, Texas, or Mineral Wells, or way down there. I don't have to worry about that. Marty's storm's gone.
Yes. And Brandon's is still weakening.
Yeah, Brandon's storm is is weakening. Yep, let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, boy, it's really shrinking, isn't it? Wow.
And the track is ready on 3.
Okay, and this is what some of the data we look at. Some of the data says, oh, no, these go all the way to I-35. More times they do than don't. And some data said, you know what, it makes it to like Clinton, and then they just kind of begin to weaken. So we'll see. But right now, Brandon's storm is severe, not a tornado warning on it, not tornadic. He's underneath it. The hail sizes have come way down in Brandon's storm. It's going right down, like we said, 152. Right now, nickels and dimes, quarter-size hail, and winds maybe 60 miles per hour with that going down, again, 152. Hank's storm is getting better, organized, and a hook on that now over Bloomington. But yeah, there's a couple areas of spin in there.
There's so many showers being pulled into it, kind of to the south of it.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I tell you what, it's tightening up though. Let's go to Hank.
Tom has it shot.
Okay,
also.
let's go to Tom Pastrana. Let's jump back south here, control room. And Tom, we have your shot. I see yeah, there's the bell. There's the right side of the mesocyclone. There's the left side of the mesocyclone. Tom, you're still a little far south. A little bit of daylight on it. I tell you what, Tom. Why don't? Okay, let's go to Tom. But Tom, I want you to go a little farther north and east, and then back north. You know what I mean? But go ahead, give us an update on what you see right there. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the first shot I can get you, but this storm is absolutely incredible. The winds going into it are at least 50 miles an hour. There's so much dust. There's everything feeding into the storm, probably for miles and miles away. I haven't seen a storm just sucking in so much inflow in a long time. And, yeah, you can see the bell right in front of me. There's so much dust, I cannot see anything underneath it. But I'm going to get north, like you said. Back to you.
Yeah, and Tom, get north, and then you can get back up on 34. And then you've got, it looks like to me, we got to pay attention, Tom, but I think you've got a road that goes east to Olustee. And then Olustee, you can take that over to Highway 6 to 283. But get back east, get back north, get closer, get in it. All right, let's get to it here.
Well, David, the track has that hook in Olustee at 727.
All right, great. Let's do it. Let's go back to Links 3. Here's Olustee. Here's the hook. This is the most dangerous part of the storm right now, the tornado warning. It's right because of this right here. It's right there. Olustee, like she said, 727. Altus, 739. Okay, it's way down here. Here's Altus. It's going to be close. Elmer, 744, Hedrick, 812, and Tipton at 815.
Jeremy says he has a shot.
Okay, let's go to Jeremy Carter. He is coming in from the north. He's going to come in and look to his right. Jeremy, you're looking back to the west. Yep, keep going south. Keep going south. Getting farther south. And what do you see right now? Oh, there you go. Left side of the bell.
Yeah.
Yep, go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah. A lot of scud, David. I really can't see if anything's on the ground. It looks like it's raining down pretty good right in that area. But you can see the wind feeding in. And, I mean, take a look at that inflow. And then right back there, I mean, just a ball of scud. I can see underneath it. We're looking for any motion or any cone shape. Take visual, nothing like that. So, David, we are right here on it, man. Back to you.
Yeah, you are right on it. Jeremy, do me a favor. Go farther south. Keep going south. It's moving east-southeast. It's to your west. So get farther south and just let it come right up to you. We'll see what it does. So keep going south down to Prairie Hill. Go 1, 2, 3, 4 miles farther south. It'll be out your right window where it is, but it's going to be literally right out your right window. All right, look at this. Look at this lowering here. So, Jeremy, get farther south and then turn your car. I want to see this thing. Okay, let's go back to it here. Links 1, this is what it looks like. So that shot right there from Jeremy is this right here. Look at the ball now. See how it's tightening up? See how the ball is, see how it's like this and it swings through? Watch that one more time. See that right there? Right there. Yep. And there's your inflow notch right here. What does shear rate look like now out of that?
It almost stretched out just a little bit on the last scan.
Yeah.
And you can see that on velocity too, David. It was a little tighter.
It was.
Stretched out just a little bit.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's a broad circulation. It looks on radar very similar, of course, to what Jeremy's showing right there.
Yeah, his
and
shot.
it's still moving southeast.
Yeah, let's see here. It's
East-southeast.
Yeah. Val's almost back in, and he's going to make his way over to, the highway here, Highway 6, and like Tom is, and then these guys will be right back in it. Okay, so Tom is quickly coming in. It's going to go right over Tom. And then we got to remember it's going to go further south. So but the roads down here, they're overall, compared to other parts of the country, the roads are good. Just down here because of the river and kind of some of the low-lying little spots down here and some of the farmland. You have roads that don't completely connect. All right, so tornado warning continues. There's your hook. This is Prairie Hill. This is Marty. Tom's right here. And wow, look at that shot from Jeremy. All right, let's go back to Jeremy Carter. Let's look at this right here. I want to see what this looks like. Take it full screen. And there's the left side of the mesocyclone. That's the left side of the bell, right? There's the ringer, and the ringer is going to be right here. Jeremy, there's scud. I see it. If you could, when you get out of the rain, turn into a spot, face that thing with your camera out the front. Let me see what that looks like. What do you think on the rotation of that right now? That's exactly where it's going to be. Go ahead, Tom. Jeremy. Sorry, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, David. You can see all the way underneath this silly thing. As soon as I get a road where I can turn over that direction, I'm going to turn the truck and point it that way. I can't see any what I would call areas of circulation that are coming together tight. That definitely a ragged, but really a mean-looking wall cloud. And just getting to where we can see this, we were literally driving through hell, approaching tennis ball size. I mean, this is really a pretty ferocious storm if you consider everything that's going on here. But let me give you a shot right here, David, and you'll be able to see it just plain and clear right now. So this here will give you.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Jeremy. Yep. There you go. No, go ahead. What do you think? There you go. Look at that right there. Yeah. Look at that right there. Go ahead.
Matt,
yeah. No, sorry. You broke up for a second. You're hot now. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So if I straighten up here too, you can see this meso. You can really see the mechanics of what's going on. Nothing too terribly, nothing that makes me think tornado. But take a look at this, David. This is what we've been dealing with. I want you to look at this, and this is going to be fast. Take a look at this hailstone. That's big. That's big, and that's what we've been dealing with.
What's that?
You got me. Okay, was you able to see that hailstone on my screen, David?
I was, but can we see it again? It was so good the first time.
Hold it up.
It was so good the first time. I want to see it again. Get back out there.
You're going to get frostbite, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Look at Jeremy.
Yeah, just take a look at this.
Look at that guy.
I'm going to hold it on my health scale, every bit of 3.5, bigger than tennis ball, and probably I'm looking because there could be a couple of softballs falling on me by the way it feels. Back to you, David.
All right. Nice job. Nice job. Jeremy Carter, he is in it to win it. Man, that guy, I'm telling you what, he's a hunter. He digs. He gets in this stuff for sure. Great job, Jeremy. By the way, big animal enthusiast. This guy will hunt down anything out there. Pick up snakes, horned toads. It doesn't matter. If it's crossing the road, he's going to grab it. All right, let's do it here. Let's go back to Tom's shot now. Tom's is a little farther south, but another great shot. And Tom, what do you think? Man, Tom, it's putting on a show for you, at least up top. It sure looks impressive. Big inflow band coming in from the south. The bell is ringing. Give us an update, Tom. Did we see it? Did we see anything back in there right now? The couplet, it's not as strong as it was, but it is certainly still a deep mesocyclone. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, that's right. So it's not, I wouldn't say that organized right now. I don't see anything that's on the ground or close to being on the ground. I can tell you, I'm going to pan over this way. That inflow band goes for miles down to the southeast, and that wind and everything that's just feeding into the storm. It's a beast of a storm. So I can only imagine the hail. I think Jeremy said softball, and I believe it. I mean, it is a monster storm, just every bit of almost like what we saw the other day on Sunday. But yeah, I don't see anything organized. I don't even see a wall cloud at the moment. But we are here, and I'm going to kind of go east with it towards Gillespie. Back to you.
All right, nice job. So Tom, again, a little farther south, and great shot though, and he's looking right where you need to be looking, right above him. From this area upwards is the mesocyclone, and this whole area is spinning right here, but there is no tornado on the ground right now. Not in his shot. Let's go to Val Casser's shot, different perspective, a different view, different lighting, same storm, and Val, what I'm looking at on the left here, it looks like that's trying to come around. Is that going to be the RFD wrapping around? What do you think? Your shot looks very, very impressive, Val. Go ahead. What do you think? The speed looks like it's pretty fast. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You nailed it. That will be the RFD coming around, and it's what I would say broad rotation. The rotation is maybe 2 or 3 miles around here, but it's broad. And I don't see any tight areas at the moment. That could change very, very quickly. That's why we're here and watching it. You could almost say it's a little disorganized. There's no focused tight areas of rotation at the moment, but broad, a little stronger rotation than it has been. Matter of fact, David, I would say this storm right now is as strong as I've seen it all day. I mean, it's at its strongest right now from what I've seen all day on this storm. So, and also something to maybe note here, it was diving hard southeast earlier. It almost looks like to me it might have taken on a little bit more of an easterly track at the moment. But it's here. We're watching it. Back to you.
It is a big, big storm for sure. All right, so that's Val's shot, and he's on the back side, right? That's why he has some sunlight hitting this. That's why it's white looking. And this is rotating from left to right. At the same time, this band up here is coming in from the right or the southeast. That's coming in on the east and southeast side of it. So this is coming in from the south. This is folding over from left to right, and this is the mesocyclone, okay? And that's the back edge of it right over here. Pretty impressive here. Nothing on the ground, but all it takes is like 5 minutes. It tightens up. This whole thing goes from left to right, and boom. And then we have some problems, all right? Let's go back to Links 1 and talk about our storms. The storm up at Elk City continues to weaken. Let's go to the middle storm here. Talk about this now. And big storm, going to have some big hail in it. And Hank's been on that. That's moving off to the east towards and north of Willow and Retrop. It has weakened some now. Let's get an update from Hank. And we'll bring Hank Brown in here. And Hank and Patty, what do you think? I think you're looking off to the south, but what's your storm doing right now? I know if you had some big hail, at least it was coming out of that thing a little bit earlier. Your storm headed up towards Retrop right now. Go ahead, Hank.
Yeah, David, right here you're looking to the southwest. I'm well west of Willow. I punched through the core, and really I didn't have as big a hail as I thought I was going to. We had maybe quarters, pretty gusty winds, and some heavy rain. This here is looking to the southwest. This is another cell that is flanking, coming up on the southwest flank of this main storm. I'll have pull forward and have Patty move the camera. This is the back edge, the back of the updraft base of that storm that's almost headed to Willow right now. So what we've seen, especially punching through, is really there looks like this is just kind of multicellular. There's updraft bases, multiple little spots. It almost looks like a family reunion of LPs, and then it all fills in with core. So it's disorganized, to say the least. It's producing some hail. It's producing some wind and rain, but there's no area has really been able to isolate and take over and get, that inflow that it needs to start rotating enough to produce a tornado or anything like that. So we're going to go back through Willow as this goes back there. Just know that, there's some quarter-size hail, and some of the vills were indicating hail bigger than that, but we didn't see it. Back to you, David.
Okay, yeah, and your storm has weakened some, and for sure, as it makes its way towards Retrop. But still a big storm, no doubt about it. Okay, let's go back to...
David, that storm will be in Retrop. It looks like at about 7:15 if it holds together.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go back to Links 3.
Val said he's got a tightened area of rotation.
Okay, before we do that, let's go back to Val, and let's go bring Val Castor back in here again. Val, we'll get your shot up. And there it is. There's your hook. You're looking right at it. I see a lot of lifting going on. Give us a play-by-play here. Give us an update.
All right, so we had a tight area of rotation right in front of us. Still do. It's not quite as focused as it was just a minute ago, but this is along almost like a forward flank, right where the forward flank comes in contact with the main wall cloud. Now, something else I want to show you. I'm going to pull forward to do this here, but look how low this is getting. I mean, there is so much rising motion going on, okay? This is looking just a little bit back to the northwest and west-northwest here. If you look real close, you could see crazy movement going on in that. So, it's not completely organized yet, but this thing is just a tick away, David, from getting seriously organized and putting down something, I think. Back to you.
Val, here's the deal. Looking at shear rate, it's some of the tightest it's been all day long, and it's right there, starting above that lonely tree to the left. From that tree to the left. It is that you're looking right at it. Are you looking almost due west? You are, aren't you?
Yes. West northwest. Yes.
Oh, hang on a second. Look above the tree, Val. Look above the tree,
yes.
And look at the motion going in there, and then look behind And look behind the inflow band to the other band that's coming into the right. Look how fast that is. And valve velocity data, it's getting tighter. Like you said, we're a step away from a tornado. We're a step away from a tornado, folks.
I think so too, David. That right there, that little inflow band, I guess you could say, it's ripping. So it's coming in from the north and the northeast and just turning and going straight up.
Yep.
And, boy, it's getting so low to the ground right there. That's what we got to keep our eye on, David.
Yeah. Well, down here in southwestern Oklahoma, we don't call them tree huggers. We call them sagebrush huggers. Not many trees, but a lot of sagebrush down here in southwest. Okay.
An uptick there.
Okay.
You hear me?
I can now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
We're good.
Yep. What'd you say?
I said there's an uptick now in velocity. You can see that on links 1
okay.
if you want to take a look real quick. And this is really the tightest the velocity's been, I think, all day with this storm.
Okay. So Val's shot right there, folks. Doesn't get any better than this. This is called surgical precision storm tracking.
And he's 6.8 miles to the northwest of Creta, which is kind of the intersection of 34 and 6.
Right here. Here's 6. Here's 34. Tom's right here. And what's it? It's almost moving due east now. It's almost moving. Yeah, okay. So that might actually create maybe tornado genesis quicker here. But right here, look at that, folks. There's your tornado. There it is right there. Not on the ground, but if it's going to go to the ground, you're going to see it first right here on News 9. Val is right there. Tom is right here. Here's Jeremy. And I'm looking at Tom's shot, too. Now, Tom's farther east. Let's go to Tom Pastrano. Same storm, farther east. Tom, it looks like it's moving pretty much due east.
That's a 15-minute lapse, David, and that hook has not moved more than a half a mile to a mile. It's almost stationary. Look at it.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Tom, when you get through with me, why don't you head a little further west? This thing is almost stationary, and I want you to see it when it happens. But anyway, go ahead, Tom. What's the motion of the cloud, the feeder band to your right? What's the motion of that right now?
Yeah, so the motion is becoming more strong. This all happened in about 7 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was disorganizing, and then all of a sudden it just became a lot better organized, and that's what you see in front of us right now. I was going to head east, and like you said, it just kind of anchored itself. The hook was kind of pushing towards the east, and then it almost looked like it kind of went back to the west. So I'm going to go west and kind of get you a better shot back to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you again, it's almost not moving. So Tom, I would go. Well, you got a great road in front of you. It's straight as an arrow. I'd take that westbound and down and get up close to it here and see what it does. Because it's and then also, Tom, you can. Well, your roads aren't very good. You'll have to turn around and come back. Okay. Well, but you can go a little further west. You know what I mean. Okay. All right. Let's go back to links 1 here. There it is. And we've got 56, 47. So right now we're upwards of pretty close to 100 knots or 100 mile per hour shear, if you will. And that's strong enough to produce a tornado. That is strong enough to have a tornado on the ground right now. But Val's right there, and it's not, but it's certainly close. Look at the hook, nearly stationary. Wow, it's not moving. Man,
they got
all
it,
right,
David.
Let's go back to Val. Let's go back to Val Caster. Val
Tornado
Caster.
on the ground.
Go to
Right
Val
there.
Caster control room. There's a tornado. Go ahead, Val. Take it.
Yes, tornado on the ground, David. Boy, that thing came down very, very, very fast. And it's not small either. It's a broad circulation on the ground. This is going to be straight west of us. I'm adjusting here. It's almost looking like it's trying to be multi-vortex at this point. It's still in the formative stages. There you go. There's some more debris right there. Not a lot of condensation of the ground, but boy, there is debris. There's debris getting kicked up right now.
Val, let me jump in here. You need to, and I know you're shooting through your lens. You need to focus. Have Amy focus a little bit. It's out of focus right now. Tornado on the ground now. This is going to be, again, this is becoming a large tornado, multiple vortex tornado live on News 9. And the tornado is going to be nearly stationary. It's going to be nearly stationary south of Duke, about 8 miles. And it's going to be north of El Dorado, about 8 miles. Val, that's becoming a large tornado. Give us an update. Look at the motion in that. Look at the motion. Look at the multiple vortex tornado going on with that. Go ahead, Val. Give us an update.
Absolutely, David. Absolutely. Yeah, you are so right. This is becoming a large tornado. I mean, it's just now forming. It's just now starting, and it's getting bigger. Look at the tube in the middle. Look at the core right there in the middle. It's very strong. Oh, good night. they ended up being a bigger tornado. It's a multiple vortex. You can see individual vortices spinning around. There's a tube right in the middle. Yes, this is going to be a bigger tornado. It's going to be distance to us, David. It's about maybe 1 mile straight west of us. It's not really moving. I mean, it's really not moving fast at all. It's basically just sitting. It's sitting right there and getting bigger, sitting and getting bigger. But it's a broad circulation up above. This whole area is rotating all around it. I knew that was imminent. I said it's a tick away a while ago, and boy, that's what happened. But tornado on the ground, I mean, the condensation, it comes and goes.
Another one.
But the tornado is still on the ground the whole time.
Okay. Hey,
right
Val.
there, see that debris?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, in your shot, we've seen at least a half dozen tornadoes. Here comes another one. Multiple vortex. Folks, this you don't see all the time. Multiple vortex tornado now. There's one cone. Double helix. Stand by. Watch this. Watch this cone. And then boom, the cone gets blown away. Here comes the next one. It's like a merry-go-round of vortices. Merry-go-round of vortices. It'll do this for a while. Here comes the next one. Tornado there. Tornado there. Tornado on the ground. This is going to be a large tornado. Right now, the vortices or the sub-vortices inside the tornado are extremely strong. Strong enough, though. Now, this is a little bit stronger. I can just tell by looking at the condensate. Look at that whipping along there. Tornado there. There's another vortice. Bow back out of this just for a second.
David, this is moving at about now 5 miles per hour, maybe due east. This is in Jackson County, far southwest Oklahoma. This is going to be to the north of El Dorado, south of Duke.
Yep. And luckily, it's in a very rural area, but people still live here, and it's going to slowly make it. There's another tornado right there from Val. There's your bowl. This is the bottom of the mesocyclone from here up. We've been tracking this thing for how many hours now? And this is what we were saying. Those storms were going to merge together. That happened. And then we said the tornado genesis would be higher, happening between 6 o'clock and about 8 o'clock. And here we are. There's your cone. And I think it's still on the ground, at least from time to time. All right. So, great shot. I'm looking here for any more vortices. It looks like it might have lifted briefly. Let's go back to links
David,
1. Go ahead.
David, there's still debris. There's still debris on the ground. Even though the condensation is pulled up,
that's what I thought.
There's debris on the ground.
Yeah,
that thing is still down. And
okay.
It looks like to me it's trying to, the whole bowl shape lowering right there has gotten bigger and more consolidated.
For sure.
The next time it comes down, it might be bigger.
Yeah. Val, can you get any closer?
No, there's no roads. But it's moving right at us.
Val, it's almost trying to move, almost due south. I mean,
it's anchored so much.
It's not moving anywhere. Another.
Oh, there you go.
Another tornado. It hasn't lifted yet. Okay, let's go to Jeremy Carter's shot. He's a little farther east by 2 miles. And look at the tornado here. Jeremy, we have your shot up. It looks like it's frozen right now. Go ahead, Jeremy. Take it. Go.
Oh yeah, David. This is a big tornado, a massive cone funnel. And, man, when this thing formed, it was like a big mass of condensation just pulled straight off the ground. And just like you said earlier, it looked like this thing's moving due south. Man, these vortices are wrapping around. It is still alive and still. Looks to me like it's getting stronger, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, let's go back to Val here. Look at Tom Pastrano. Let's get a Tom Pastrano shot.
Hold on.
Let's get a Tom Pastrano shot. And Andrew, bear with me here. Look at there. Look at the cascading going on. All right, Tom Pastrano, there we go. Big tornado, multiple vortex tornado down in southwestern Oklahoma. This is going to be to the east of Hollis. This is going to be north and west of Altus, or west-southwest of Altus, excuse me. And big hook, big multiple vortex tornado. Tom, great shot. And there it is, Tom. It is putting on a show. Look at the vortices inside of this, starting from left to right. It is a merry-go-round. We have gone to the circus, and it is a merry-go-round of vortices rotating around the main cone. Wow, goodness sakes alive. Here's one. Here comes another one. Here comes another one. There's another one behind me. Look at the horizontal tube coming out of it, being pulled up into it. This whole area, folks, is a tornado. From there, it's a half mile to 3/4 of a mile wide. It's a half mile wide tornado, and there's the right side, there's the left side, and underneath, inside the tornado, you're getting to see what a large tornado looks like. Big violent or big tornadoes have vortices rotating the whole time.
Satellite
May
tornadoes.
3rd, May 3rd, all the big days, May 24th, yes. I mean, inside of a big tornado, you have these, and that's how but you're getting to see that right now. Look at the motion right here. Goodness. Okay, let's go to Tom. Hey, Tom, didn't mean to step on you there, just, talking about it. Go ahead. Give me an update. Take it, Tom.
Yeah, that's right, Dave. There's a lot going on. It's an incredible storm. I'm going to pan out so you can see the motion coming from the northeast. The inflow is just incredible. This kind of reminds me of the Elmer tornado back in 2016, I believe. And, this could get pretty big. Right now, it's still on the ground. The condensation isn't completely on the ground, but you can still see some vortices there. Gosh, it's just absolutely incredible with the motion in this. So it's kind of just still anchored. I mean, it has just moved maybe 2 miles to the south. So it's wanting to do it again right here, and let's see what it does. Back to you.
Hey, Tom, do me a favor. Just kind of tilt up here. I want to see if your light changes. I want the folks at home to see the merry-go-round going on to the top. Just if you can pan up. Oh, yeah. If you were seeing it in person, you'd be like, oh, my gosh, are you kidding me? Because here's the deal. There's so much motion above right here. Another vortice still on the ground. Large tornado. Tornado extends over to here. Folks, it's a half mile. There's another vortice there. It's a half mile. Tom, how wide? I'm guesstimating a half mile wide from left to right. Am I right on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, actually it could be bigger because the dust actually extends pretty far to the south. And the RFD, I mean, there could be some damaging winds that encompass this tornado a lot farther than that circulation. It's getting stronger right now, as you can see, and we could be getting ready to see a larger tornado come here any minute now. Back to you.
Okay, nice job. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1. Flip the radar behind me and put up, I don't know, Val shot, Tom shot. We've all got it. Doesn't matter. Put something up behind me. Let's go back to Lynx 1, and I want to point out where this is. Okay, so here's the deal. This is Elmer. This is Tipton. This is a tornado. It's right here. It's right here. El Dorado. If I live in El Dorado or to the north of El Dorado, lowest level, center part of the house. It's barely moving. It's not moving very fast at all, but nonetheless, it has been a large tornado, a multiple vortex tornado, and you're seeing it live only on News 9. And
Val's got debris.
Let's go to Val Castor.
Hitting a house.
Let's go to Val Castor, control room. Take it. Let's go to Val Castor. Val, is that a house? Go ahead.
It's either a house or a barn. I think it's a house.
Oh, no.
But it's tearing it up. I mean, it already hit a barn that was right there. I'm not certain if that's a house. It looks like a house, but it's impossible to tell. It's bigger than your average small barn, but we saw part of the roof, and there's more of the roof peeling away from it. I'm almost thinking that might be a house because a barn would have been gone by now. There's more debris.
Oh.
All
right, Val, keep going. What are you, how far away from it are you right now? What's your guesstimation? How far away are you?
We're about 3/8 of a mile to our southwest. It's 3/8 to our southwest. And by the way, it's moving southeast now. It turned. It was coming right at us. We held our ground pretty much, and it slowly started turning to the southeast. And now, whatever that is, it's still damaging that house. I mean, it's taking really strong winds right now. I mean,
and it's sitting
from the east and northeast.
That's what's
wild. It went right over it.
That's what's wild. It's just sitting there. Usually they're passing by quickly. It's just sitting over the top of that, David, because it's not moving very quickly.
There goes more. Oh, look at the debris.
Hang on. Val, zoom back in. Zoom back
in. The house, a large piece, zoom in on the house. A large piece of debris just flew off of that house.
They're just
right there. Boy, I hope they're in shelter.
Man, folks, normally a tornado lasts 10 seconds. They're moving at 20, 30 miles per hour. Look at this place. I mean, look at this. This is live, only on News 9. This is either a barn or a house being destroyed as the tornado is sitting on top of this area. And that's on the right side, by the way.
Look at that.
I mean, there's another vortice. Multiple. We've had at least maybe 10 to 15 tornadoes out of this storm in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Look at the motion in here. There's some pretty violent motion going on for sure. Another cone here on the right side. The main cone. The whole thing's a cone, but you have sub-vortices coming out of all of it. All right, so here it is. Look at the hook on radar behind me here. And, okay, let's go back to radar. Let's leave the shot up, flip them and flop them behind me. Look at another vortice. This thing is putting on a camp. Goodness gracious. Look at, oh.
Okay.
Look at that.
David, Cassie was just looking. I'm going to take radar off just really quick and show you something really quick.
Okay.
You can actually see on the terrain when we zoom in on our detailed mapping
what do you
here of where that is. So this is North 1880 Road, and it's just south of 1690.
Gosh. Look at the motion, guys. Look at the violent motion.
I see it.
Oh my God.
And that is a home, and hope those folks have a shelter, and they are in it right now.
Yeah, now look at this. Now it looks like Medusa. Now we have snakes, it's an octopus, it's doing everything right now. Look at that.
Just looking, there are several
Goodness
homes down there,
gracious.
of course.
Look, folks, all of our trackers, 1, 2, 3. Look at the motion. Look at the multiple vortex tornado. Goodness sakes alive. Okay, here's Tom, here's Jeremy, here's Val. And there are their shots
and
right there.
It's getting stronger on velocity.
Getting stronger. What are our winds here now? We're looking at 69 and 48, so we're 70, 120, 130. Right now, EF2, borderline trying to go to a 3, EF2 right now. EF2 tornado in southwestern Oklahoma doing damage, multiple vortex tornado, boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go back to Val, and it's nearly stationary.
Yeah, I'm going to lapse it for you.
Okay, look at that shot, folks. Goodness.
It's
My goodness.
Down towards
That's straight
Creta.
south of us, David. Straight south of us.
Okay.
Straight south of us, and it has got a lot of vortices, multiple vortex tornado. As far as the width goes, I'm going to say it's a quarter of a mile. At times, it's been as wide as a quarter of a mile. Okay? It's straight south of us now. It just crossed this road that we're on. I don't even know what number this road is here, but it just crossed the road. It is moving south, I think, southeast or south-southeast at the moment.
Hey, Val?
Yeah.
Just velocity data, EF2 possibly, maybe a 3, but man, for a second there, it got nutty for a second when you had that vortice slamming in and then lifting, go to the left, to the right. Anytime you slam it and go left and right, we've got problems, and that's exactly what's going on. Look at the cone now. Go ahead, Val, take it.
Yeah, it's a 2 for sure, David. I can't say if it's going to go above that, but I mean, I would say only a high E2 and possibly even stronger. But look how it's getting bigger at the moment. It's southeast of us, and it's getting a lot bigger at the base. There's a lot of dust that's picking up right now. We're traveling south. We're just going to follow it here.
Yeah,
I just hope everybody stays out of the way. There's a lot of chasers out here, David.
He's just out for a Sunday afternoon cruise down in southwest Oklahoma, just doing 5 miles an hour, and here's your left window. Strong tornado.
Jeremy's got a shot.
All right, let's go to Jeremy now, and this is a little different view, a little farther east. And Jeremy, there you go, outside the truck.
Take a look at that.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
This thing has just took a beeline with some forward motion, and I mean it's ripping off. This thing's really a pretty strong tornado. I was sitting there watching the vortex breakdown while you and Val was on the getting her, but this is definitely going to a strong tornado, shrouded in debris, and also it has a lot of rain wrapping. You can see the curtains wrapping all the way around it. Fully condensed now, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Great job, Jeremy. And by the way, the hat's still on, which is it's always a good sign when you have a strong tornado just to your... Look at the motion here, folks.
Tom's
see the
shot's
motion?
also incredible right now,
All right,
David.
let's go to Tom Pastrano. Let's take Tom Pastrano's shot. It's putting on a clinic. I'll tell you what, we don't like it. It's dangerous. You folks, again, north of El Dorado, this is where this tornado is, north of El Dorado, and also well southwest of Altus. And it's kind of in a rural area, but we know we had damage hitting a house. Let's go to Tom. Look at the horizontal tube right there.
Completely parallel to the ground.
Wow, streamwise vorticity out the left side of it. Go ahead, Tom. Give us an update.
Yeah, David, I just had that big horizontal vortex, which means it's a really strong, violent tornado. I see a whole bunch of trees getting ripped up down here in this little valley. But gosh, it's a pretty strong tornado. Maybe upward of an EF2, well, for sure EF2, if not EF. I'm going to go reposition because some of these storms have deviant movements, especially with the environment. So I'm going to go a little bit towards the east here and then kind of cut south. Back to you.
Tom, look at the elephant trunk, a little wider than an elephant trunk, but look at the vortices rotating around. Look at this. I mean, look at that, folks. And remember, these are those are condensate. Okay, now multiple vortex. There's your main cone. This is not sped up. This is live. Again, only on News 9. And look at the motion here. Look at the motion. If you live in southwestern Oklahoma, And this, again, is headed towards you. It's moving almost due south at about 5 miles per hour. You got to go to your safe spot. We'll show you exactly where it's coming. Look at the vortices on that. Goodness. And see how quickly they form and go away? I mean, there is so much physics and dynamics going on in here right now. Now watch. It'll speed up. We'll get another vortice. There goes another one. There goes another one. And these vortices, they just continue to feed. Remember, this is one solid tornado. My gosh. One solid tornado, and inside of it, we have what we call subvortices, and that makes up the entire tornado. Oh my gosh, where'd that shot go? Okay.
Jeremy's got a good shot.
But Jeremy,
all right, let's go to who has a shot?
Jeremy.
He does indeed. Let's go back to Jeremy Carter and get an update from Jeremy. And Jeremy, there you go, multiple vortex, still turning. Hey, Jeremy, your shot, you might need to focus it a little bit. Might need to focus it a little bit there.
Look at the wheat waving into it.
Yeah, go ahead. Like I said, the wheat still looks good. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, we're in really hard RFDs right now. We got a northwesterly, probably about 70 miles an hour. But you can see these vortices, they're just dancing around like a carousel. I mean, and look up at the color cloud. I mean, look at how massive. When you're out here, there's no way to share with everyone all the senses that are going on through the person's mind. There's actually a rainbow in the tornado at this moment. Right there, it's crossing. But this is a powerful tornado. For people that are downstream, this is a very dangerous situation. Back to you, David.
All right, yeah. This is a strong tornado. Might become a violent tornado if it becomes an EF3 or more. Now, obviously, that's done after surveys are done for the damage. But I'm just telling you, by looking at the wind speeds, I can tell by looking at radar. I can tell you by the motion of the tornado, because I've done this a long time and I chased a lot of tornadoes. This is a strong tornado.
The terminal Doppler, or the mobile Doppler on wheels, you can see it there.
Right there.
Yeah, they're down there sampling this right now.
So we will know exactly in the days and weeks to come exactly what the winds were in this. We were looking at winds, what, 120?
At least 120 to 130. And if you want to go to links 2, David,
real
quick,
links 2.
You can see all the products combined and give folks a really good idea of what this is doing and where it is.
Jeremy, Tom, Val. Let's go to links 2. And there's the tornado.
That's
right
the debris.
Here. And this is going to be the debris detector. The dark blue, that's debris. That's all that stuff you saw and you can see being picked up in the tornado. There's reflectivity. There's your tornado. There's your debris ball. There's your debris by radar. This is velocity data. Winds at about 120 miles per hour. Puts it at an EF2, possibly a low end EF3. And there's shear rate. You can't get any better information than that. That's as good as it gets.
That 15-minute lapse, David, that it is moving to the east-southeast now, which is going to put it down towards Marty. And eventually Olustee, potentially.
Yep. Okay, so here's the deal.
The track has it at Olustee at 826.
Okay, let's do that. And does it include Marty in your track?
I've got Elmer. I don't see a Marty.
Okay, Marty's right here. And that's not Marty Logan. Just clarify.
Small community.
We don't want to put Woodward County.
That's not coming up on
here. Okay. All right. Well, let's go back to links 1, and then have our another portable Doppler there.
And just so you know, this tornado touched down at 7:04. We're coming up on 20 minutes now.
Yeah.
That it's been producing just multiple vortices.
Okay. So State Highway 34. The tornado's still west of State Highway 34. There's your tornado. Val's underneath it, looking right at it. Let's go back to Val Castor. And then Cassie will come and do that storm tech. See the movement?
Val's shot is frozen right now.
Okay, Val's shot's frozen. Let's go to Tom Pastrano. Get an update on the tornado from Tom. It's headed towards, all right, Tom, there's your tornado. Wow, what a shot, Tom. What a shot. Big tornado. Go ahead, Tom. Becoming a larger tornado. Go ahead, Tom Pastrano.
Yeah, David, that's a violent tornado right there. Wow, it just crossed the road here on 34, and it's moving towards the east. It looks like it has picked up speed, so it looks like it's moving due east right now. And, gosh, it looks like it's getting stronger and stronger at the moment. Back to you.
It's moving east now.
Yeah, okay, here's the deal, Tom. Get east. Like you said, it's moving east, and it's also getting stronger, Tom.
Look at the winds, David.
Yeah, let's go back to links 1. Tom, get east. Don't lose it. Get east. Okay, so winds now. 112 and 1. Okay, so now radar is saying winds gate to gate of 200 miles per hour. So, and Tom said violent, so we got to call it a violent tornado. We've gone from a strong tornado, now we're into the EF3, possibly the EF4 range of strength, and this is a tornado that will injure you, or it could possibly take your life if you don't do your tornado precaution. And again, there are farms down here, I get it, but people live down here, right? And Lacey, go ahead and lapse this to see the movement on it. Moving off to the east, strong to violent tornado now. This is in southwestern Oklahoma. Here we go. It's right crossing Highway 34. It just crossed 34.
Is it lifting to the northeast a little, David?
It might be. It might be. Okay, Jeremy. We got to get Jeremy back east. Make sure Jeremy, Andrew, make sure Andrew keeps going. Make sure Jeremy keeps going east, okay? All right, let's go to Jeremy Carter. He's on the north side. Let's go to Jeremy
there's
Carter.
Another cone, another large cone is coming down on the north side of this.
Okay.
It's coming down right on the highway, right in front of me. It's halfway to the ground. I guarantee you. I see debris on the ground.
Okay.
It's ripping apart houses. It's ripping up a house about a mile.
Tom can see it in the shot.
Okay.
3/4 in front of me.
Let's go to Tom, control room. All right. Hey, Jeremy, hang on a second. Let's go back to Tom Pastrano. Just take Tom's shot. Go to Tom Pastrano. And we've got debris in the air. This is debris. It's hit something, obviously. Tom, where's the cone from this? Yeah. I see it.
Yeah, so there's two tornadoes. This tornado is to the north of the big tornado.
Oh, right here.
So there's two tornadoes on the ground at the same time.
Yeah, two tornadoes.
So this is just outside my window right now. I had probably about 80-mile-an-hour winds coming from the north.
Tornado.
And there's still lots of debris in the air. It looks like it hit a farmstead, possibly a house.
Right.
But, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, so now we have Twister Sisters, which is not good. Twister Sisters, we have the original tornadoes right here. Here's the second tornado right here. And again, moving off to the east. All right, so Tom, here's the deal. Just keep going east. It's just to your east, but just stay with it. If you can get out ahead of it, Tom, that would be great. But keep going east, okay?
I'm going to have to go north and east.
Tom, your farm road goes through right there. Farm road 1690 goes through. Well, you might not have updated, but your farm road 1690 goes through. Jeremy Carter, he's farther north. We got to keep him going with this. Where's Val now? Let me see Val's shot. Okay, so
we're making our way back to it, David. I can still see it from here, though.
Okay, let's go to Val. Let's bring Val in here. And Val's shot is it up? Is it frozen? I think it's frozen again. Val, your shot's frozen again, but we'll go ahead and take you. Give us a quick update.
All right, so
cut him. We'll get back to him here in a second. Bad cell area down here. Plus, you've got everybody from around the globe right now in southwest Oklahoma with, again, chasing storms.
And David, I do have a track on 3.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go to Links 3 control room. There's the tornado. There's the tornado moving east. Olusty, Altus. You folks in Altus, it looked like it was going to go well south and east of you. This is why we do what we do, because it's made a turn. It's tried to occlude, and it's making its way almost due east. So if I live in Altus or southwest of Altus, lowest level, center part of the house, call friends and family and people you don't like and tell them, hey, this thing is moving your way. If you live in Altus down to Olusty or west of there's your tornado. It's a strong to violent tornado. And again, moving due east. Olusty, 744, Altus, 8 o'clock. And it is now 7:28. It could speed up, so keep that in mind. Hedrick, 8:38, Snyder, 9:14, and we'll see Mountain Park at 9:16. All right, so tornado right here, moving again due east. It's going to go, it's right now, it's south of 62, but it's right here. Let's go back to Links 1, look at the tornado itself. There it is, and trackers are getting back in position. I still see the tornado in Tom's shot. There's the tornado. And it's still on the ground. It's going right down Farm Road 1690 and now Farm Road 1930 at the intersection. So what do you have here on your winds?
I just found about 100, but I know
70. What's this purple?
Yeah, 70 to
what's that right there?
100. So we're still
170 gate to gate.
Yeah.
So it's a solid. You could call it an EF3.
And look how it's lifted northeast, David, from where it was.
It's trying to occlude.
Swinging.
So, folks, we're going to start sounding the alarm for Altus. Altus, you technically, are you in the warning? Are they in? They're not in the warning. Altus, Altus needs to be in the warning. All right, let's go back to Tom Pastrano.
Yeah, take Tom.
Let's take Tom Pastrano. Tornado, strong to violent tornado on the ground. Folks, it's going to try to head towards Altus. Go ahead, Tom. Give us an update. Looks like somewhat of a thinner stovepipe, but still a strong to violent tornado. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, David, this is a large tornado. This is as large as I've I've seen it. It's big. It's violent. It's continuing to move to the east, but it has taken a northern jog. Oh my gosh, it is big and it is strong. This looks like upward, some of those stronger tornadoes, EF3, maybe an EF4 type tornado. The strongest I've seen it all day long. Back to you.
Tom, to get our bearings straight, this is the left side of the violent tornado. There's the right side. This is, I said a thin stovepipe. I misspoke. This is a stovepipe. This is a large tornado, a strong to violent tornado, winds of upwards of 150 to 170 miles per hour. You have to go to your safe spot. And I'm talking about if you live in Olustee, north of Olustee to Altus. Altus is a big city. I'm telling you, the Altus Air Force Base is there. A lot of people live in and around Altus, and this is trying to make its way towards Altus.
It is 10 miles to the southwest of Altus right now.
Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1 and get Tom east. I see Val's got it back in his shot again. Let's go back to Lynx 1 though. Lynx 1 control room, 10.6 miles southwest of Altus. Large tornado, violent tornado now. And again, here's Altus. I'm telling you right now, I have some friends down here. I hope they're watching. The Duncans, you know who you are. You got to be thinking about it, okay? This is going to be coming out of again, Prairie Hill. Here's Tom, multiple vortex. Look at the shot from Val Castor. That is a strong to violent tornado, at least an EF3, if not stronger, and it's going to Altus right now. It might go just barely south of Altus and cross 283, but if you're thinking or praying hard, do it harder, because this thing, again, look at the size of the tornado.
You've got time Altus, 7:55. If it speeds up, though, that time frame can change. That's about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes.
And often when they occlude like this, or they start to spin through the ringer on the bell, like on the bell, it's ringing back and forth. When this thing starts to ring to the east, they can double their speed.
Yes.
They can quickly speed up. And look at this. Look at the violent tornado. Jeremy, Tom, and Val right here looking right at it. There's Tom's shot. Let's go back to Val Castor. Let's bring Val in. He's a little bit farther to the south. Val, strong to violent tornado. Still on the ground. It's going to try to head towards Altus. If you live in between Olustee and Altus, safe spot, lowest level, center part of the house. Most farmhouses down here have basements, have storm shelters. That's where you need to go. Look at the size of the tornado. Look at the white cone from right to left. Strong, violent tornado. It's put on a show. It's been a merry-go-round of tornadoes. And Val, we've had 2 tornadoes on the ground. We had Twister Sisters going on about 15 minutes ago. Now we're back to one big cone. Give us an update. Violent tornado. Go ahead, Val.
Oh, David, it's definitely jumped up to high F3. Who knows, possibly even F4 wind speed here. This tornado has done nothing but get bigger, David, and it definitely looks like it's moving east to me. I mean, it's definitely moving now. Earlier when it first started and we had the house getting ripped apart, it wasn't moving much. It was so slow. But now it's moving, and it's moving at a pretty good clip. So anybody east of here, anybody east of here, just chat. This thing's on the move. Back to you.
All right, nice job. Okay, so again, there's the tornado, the right side, left side of the tornado here. We're having some a little bit of a glitch there in the video, but you can clearly see the tornado. Val's making his way through. It's Chaser Con going on down here, folks. These are all storm trackers from all over the country, from all over the world, are here in Oklahoma right now, and they really are. They're from Japan, they're from Germany, they're from Italy, all European. I mean, they're from all over the place, right? And to see this. Okay, let's go back to Lynx 1. Is that Lynx 1?
That's Lynx 1, yes.
Okay, so obviously our debris signal here is saying, yes, we clearly have debris. Thank you. And that's going to be, again, making its way northeast. So let's kind of flatten this out again, get our bearing straight here.
Okay.
We're going to look down on it. Okay, go back to debris. Let's see what you have. We know we have debris. We've had plenty of that. So there's the tornado. It's right here. And here's Altus. And like she said, it's about 10 miles southwest of Altus.
And it's lifting north. Watch the hook, because like you said, it's swinging north.
It's swinging.
It may go west of Altus, but it's going to be close.
So let's just call it. If you live in Altus and west of Altus, you can count your miles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the bend. 10 to the bend, west of Altus. How far is that out there to the bend?
I'm trying to see where
you're fine.
Oh, I see.
I was just saying the bend right there.
Okay, 9.7.
I said 10. I missed it. Oh, man. Okay.
You're close.
So 9.7, again, west of Altus. It's going to occlude, folks, and this happens a lot in the world of tornadoes. And this is their life cycle, all right? And this thing is going to, it's occluding. It might lift north and come in and slam the small community of Victory, right, west of Altus. But it is a big tornado now, still a big tornado. The winds have come down in it. It has weakened slightly. And let's go back to Tom Pastrano. You can see shear rate. There's your tornado.
It's been on the ground for 30 minutes
30 minutes on the ground. Tom, I can see it. It's in there. Give us an update. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so it's in there. It's touching the rain. I have rapid rain curtains just wrapping all around it. Almost impossible to see anything. My winds here are about 60. I do have power lines down in front of me. I tried to go north, and I had bigger than baseball-sized hail, so I had to come south, and now the hail's caught up to me. The wind's caught up to me, so I'm going to have to probably drop a little south and then try to go north, back at it again. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job, Tom. So, Tom, again, it's becoming a little more, you're thinking, why doesn't it look like it did earlier? It's becoming rain-wrapped, and that happens a lot, right? Earlier, it was not rain-wrapped. We had some rain, but it was clearly visible. But it's right here. There's your tornado. And, again, it's headed, folks, it's going to cross 62 and Highway 6. If you know anybody that lives at this T, right? Highway 62 and Highway 6, lowest level, center part of the house, strong tornado still coming your way. It might lift as it crosses 62, or it might continue to grind. It's been grinding for the last 25 minutes. All right, so here's the tornado. All right, here, I'm telling you, if I'm in Altus, no way am I not thinking this is going to hit me. Again, it might be just west of Altus, but it's going to cross. Oh, nope, there we go. There we go. It's back again. Strong to violent tornado.
It almost looked disorganized, and
it did.
There was some hope there for a second that it was falling apart.
Yeah. Nope. Okay, now crossing Farm Road 1950 and Farm Road 1670. That's the tornado. That's your violent tornado. That's query some of this.
Okay.
Lace, what do you have? 100? 100 to 50?
There. Yeah,
100
to...
What's the orange? 98. 200 mile per hour, gate-to-gate shear. It's at least an EF3, if not an EF4. It's a violent tornado, no doubt about it. And it's close to the radar. The radar data does not lie. And that's exactly what's going on. That is a bad deal. Let's go to debris. Let's see what debris looks like.
Okay.
And then we'll do a storm track. Cass, get a storm track ready. We'll take it here. Include Altus in that. I don't want to leave our friends out in Altus. All right, there's the tornado. There it is, crossing 1670. This is debris being lofted into the sky. So for the radar to hit that, it's got to be higher than just a few hundred feet up in the air. It's got to be at this distance from the radar. I'm just doing the math here. This is probably 10 to 15,000, maybe 20,000 feet up. That tells me, by looking at velocity data, but also looking at that blue and how far this is from the radar, that this is 15 to 20,000 feet up. Also, to be able to get debris that high, it's got to be an EF3 or stronger.
And I just took off everything, David, so you can see the highways there, and you can see the community of Altus as well, to see the population. And of course, people live, like you mentioned, it's a rural area. People live out here on these farm roads, these sections. A lot of farmland, but a lot of farm homes as well.
Yeah, and especially as you get closer to town. You know how it is. I mean, farms become more numerous as you get closer to Altus. Of course, here's Altus Air Force Base right here. Here's downtown Altus, right? Altus Hospital. The Brahms there.
Oh, look at the debris now, David.
Yeah.
It just got, more apparent that it's hitting something.
Okay, it's going to cross Highway 62. All right, go ahead and lapse this. Let's see what the debris does. Okay. It's going to go west of Altus unless it does something crazy. It's going to go west of Altus, but not by much. I mean, we're talking how many? 7, 8? That was 9.7 miles. So 7 miles west of town?
Yeah, 6 to 7.
Okay, 6 to 7 west of town.
And David, that track is ready on 3. I went ahead and I included Altus.
Okay, again, it's probably going to go west of Altus, but we have you in there. But it's going to look at oh man. Lace, are you, Cassie? Oh, you're SRV. Okay. Altus at 8 o'clock, Martha, 8:02. I think it's going to go west. I really do. I think it's going to go west of Altus, but if I'm in Altus, I'm not going to take a chance of this. I'm going to be like, hang on a second. Safe spots ready, families ready, kids are ready, neighbors are ready. And if you live west of Altus, between, again, Highway 6 and the Bend, between there and Duke, lowest level, center part of the house, and you have to go now. This is the kind of tornado that will injure you, and worst case scenario, if you don't take a safety precaution and do what you're supposed to do, you could lose your life. If you live in a mobile home, you will not survive this in a mobile home. You will not. I'm just telling you right now. You have to get out of the mobile home. Modular home, mobile home, we love them. They're great 99.9% of your life. But when this is coming your way, you cannot ride it out in a mobile home. It'll put it to splinters, okay? If you have a normal home, a built home, lowest level, center part of the house, get off the second story, winds increase in a tornado with height a lot from the lowest level to the top of the second floor. It just gets worse. And plus, it's not built as well. It's not anchored down to the foundation, okay? That's why the tops of homes get toppled first. Obviously, second floor, no way. Large tornado, still a violent tornado. Okay, Jeremy, this thing is, let's go back to reflectivity here. Is it just completely shrouded in rain? There's debris track.
Yeah, that's the debris track. I got a path I've been trying to just draw to kind of get an idea here.
It's wrapped in rain now.
There it is.
It's wrapped completely in rain. Okay, so there's victory.
You can see the hole in the precip, David. Look at that.
Yep. See, there's the donut. You don't want to see a donut looking back at you like that. They're fine on your plate, but not looking back at radar. That's what I'm talking about right here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the tornado. Look at the reflectivity. Look at this right here. Watch the purples and the blacks come around and just watch it. We're just going to take this all the way in. That's the tornado. It's 2 miles. What is that? Lays 2 miles south of Highway 62.
Yep.
And it's going to cross Highway 62 just to the east of the bend. If you live west of Altus, please listen. Call somebody. Wake them up. If you're thinking somebody's worked all night, they might be sleeping all day, they work at night, let them know what's going on here. This is a strong to violent tornado crossing Highway 62. Here's Altus, Highway 62 here, Highway 6. It looked like for a while it might make its way a little more east-northeast and hit Altus. Now we are confident it will miss Altus right now and cross Highway 62. Let's just do this. How far? Well, there's 10 miles. So 10, 9, 8. 8 miles west of Altus is where it crosses Highway 62, or 6 miles, if you count the bend, maybe 7, southeast of Duke is where it crosses. Okay.
David, Val's been driving through damage, and it was a moment ago, you may not have seen it in his shot, but it was a large John Deere tractor that was completely overturned next to the house that also had some roof damage on it. Okay, let's go back to Val and get an update on Val Castor. And Val, the tornado, go ahead. It's wrapped in rain, Val. You've seen damage. What kind of damage have you seen? Big tractors flipped and thrown?
Yeah, there was a big tractor, one of the bigger green John Deere tractors that it almost looked like it was either carried a little bit or maybe rolled, but it was laying up against something else. Also, there was a heavy metal flatbed trailer that looked like it had been picked up and deposited in the middle of one of these county roads here. Numerous power lines are down. There was a house that was not hit directly but had a lot of superficial damage, all kinds of sheet metal scattered everywhere, and probably the most impressive thing I saw, you know how tough mesquite trees are. There was a whole field of mesquite trees decimated, and those things are hard to damage, David. Back to you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, they're made for this kind of weather, and those are some of the hardest trees and plants on the planet, for sure. He's looking at the tornado, folks. He's looking at it. Val, do you see any motion in there, or is it just completely shrouded in rain? That's the tornado. You see it. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's it right there, and it's completely shrouded in rain.
Yeah,
I know it's right behind that rain, and we're not seeing it, but, eventually these things do come out. Of the rain, so we're just going to stay with it.
All right, Val, here's my advice. Get east and get back north. It's crossing Highway 62 right now. It's 5 miles from you. You're 5 miles away. I know it looks closer than that, but you're 5 miles from it. Okay, let's go back to Lynx. And there it is. There's the tornado. Still a strong to violent tornado, shrouded in rain. You're not going to see it. What are you going to do? You're going to hear it, and then you're going to feel it if it's going to hit you. Okay, so this is going to be... what did we determine? 7 miles or 8 miles west of Altus, downtown Altus. Take it from
the intersection of 283.
Yeah,
7 miles.
7 miles west of downtown Altus. Large tornado, strong tornado to violent tornado, still on the ground.
Lifting north, northeast.
Yep, it's going to Victory, small community of Victory. If you know anybody that lives in and around Victory, down to Highway 62, lowest level, center part of the house, strong tornado now, lifting north. You folks in Altus, you're clear for this. This is going to go to your west and northwest, okay? And it looks like it might have weakened a little bit more on that last scan on the update there.
And if you want to quickly, David, take links to show you the storm track of where this has been. It looks like anywhere from 10, now 11, possibly 12 miles now of the track. It began over here at East 1870 Road. Val saw it hitting that home over there, and that would have been along East 1670. It was moving south, and then it made that turn. That's why it's so dangerous for amateur trackers and folks that are trying to, get a look at something like this. It changed direction, and now it's lifting north, and it's gone another couple miles. It started on the ground. It's been over 40 minutes now that it's been on the ground, David. A long track and at times a violent tornado. Yeah, long track, violent tornado. Exactly. And look at and this is what happens. This is what we call, this happens a lot. May 31st, 2013, I can give you dates all day, where tornadoes, especially violent tornadoes sometimes, will occlude like that. They'll make that southeast turn, and as they get towards the middle and end of their life cycle, the mesocyclone, things will start to happen inside the storm, and they start to do this, and they swing. And it's like a ringer on a bell. I've said that for years. It swings through. What happens when it swings through, it can still be a violent tornado, but also the speed picks up. So what you have is, you have trackers out here, right? This is why trackers that aren't veteran storm chasers, they're out here thinking, oh, we're good, and this thing starts to do this, and they get east, and this thing runs them over. And that can't happen, right? We had some storm trackers that were hurt big time the other day up in Iowa. They got run over by a strong to violent tornado just like this one. And we all know what happened back on May 31st of 2013 with our storm trackers that sadly lost their lives in El Reno that day. So it happens. Tornadoes, they don't take any prisoners. I'm just telling you. They never have and they never will. All right, so here it is, crossing Highway 62, small community of Victory. Tornado is wrapped in rain. It's nothing like what it was when it was a multiple vortex and it was dancing and prancing. It was a merry-go-round and it was crazy. Now it is completely wrapped in rain. Tornado is now crossing 62. Velocity data has come down. It's come down some. You can see it in Val's shot. It's wrapped in rain. You're not going to see it like we did earlier. And at least velocity data, and Cassie and Andrew, velocity data has come down. I don't see the 200 mile per hour we had earlier. It's likely still on the ground. Still on the ground. It's not as strong as it was. Maybe the rain wrapping around it is helping to somewhat, cause it to become a little bit more disorganized and not so symmetrical with the wind field. And you can see right here the shear rate product still maxing out as it crosses 62. Yeah. That's going to be between County Road 1960 and 1970. Yep. And eventually making its way possibly up towards Martha. Could make it after Victory. Yeah, could make it that far. No doubt about it. I mean, but folks, see the hook? And it's completely wrapped in rain now. It looks to me like it's over Highway 62, and we have Val making his way back in from the south, Tom as well. But Val's shot, I mean, he's looking right at it. Let's go to Val Castor. Let's bring Val in here. Val, are you making your way off to the north now, or are you still headed east? I guess you're still headed east. Go ahead.
We are headed east. We had turned south, David, because the road turned to mush, and there were storm chasers that were stuck in front of us, and we just had to turn and go south a mile. But we are making our way east. We got good roads ahead, and we should be back on it. So, once again, we're watching where it is. It is wrapped up in the rain right there. If it's still on the ground, it's completely wrapped. And we know right where it is based on where, the rain is and where visually we can see what's going on. But we can't confirm because we can't see it right now. Give us about 10 minutes and we'll be in front of it again. Back to you. Okay. All right. So great job. He's going to make his way back to the north. Brandon Pennell's coming in from the north as well. And I'm going to bring Brandon back in here real quick, get an update from Brandon. And Brandon's on 283 north of Altus. Brandon, I know your roads don't go all the way through to the west of 283, but I think at some point here you ought to make a left turn or a west turn and try to go west, maybe the next mile or 2 miles north of Altus, Brandon Pennell.
and go west. And right now, the small community of Victory is almost in the direct path. It's going to go right over Victory, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles west and 1 mile north. It's ramping back up again.
It might be turning back to the west some, David, almost trying to make that full, hook.
Yeah. My gosh.
It's stationary right now.
All right, Brandon Pennell, we have you in. Go ahead, give us an update as you come in from the north, looking back to your west. Go ahead, give us a quick update.
Okay, David, we're coming into the north side of Altus right now. We're fixing to make a west turn, and we're going to get west out of on the northwest side of Altus and get right up in front of this thing and see what it's doing. I know that it's rain wrapped, it's not as visible as what it was, but we're fixing to be, I'd say we're probably 3 to 4 minutes away from being right in front of it, right in front of the circulation to be able to see. Right now there's so much rain. One good thing, though, is we came through the core. We did not experience very much hail, so at least that threat for Altus, at least in our location, has come down a little bit, but we are now west. What road is this? No, what road do we go west on? We're going west on East 1620 for those that live in Altus. Probably get out here about 2 to 3 miles and hopefully be able to see whatever's there tucked back in the rain. So give us just a couple of minutes and we're going to be in a little bit better position to give you an update. Back to you.
All right, Brandon, I'll give you this. It has crossed Highway 62, but also it's now occluded. You know that, but now it's lifting almost due north. It's moving almost due north now on or west of the small community of Victory. Okay, so Brandon's coming in from the east. All right, let's go back to Links 1, and there's the tornado. There's the eye looking right back at you. It looks like an eye of a hurricane. And you don't want to be in that because at some point you got to get out of it, right? And look at the velocity now. Lacey, go ahead and let's query some of this data. And orange 70, 78.
One direction. Yeah, it's kind of folding at the moment,
okay.
But easily 130.
Yeah, it's not as strong as what it was, but it's still a strong tornado. It's still a strong tornado. It's crossed Highway 60. Here's the small community of Victory. You folks in Altus, again, this has missed you. It has completely swung through to your west, crossing Highway 62. It's moving due north up Farm Road here, 1970, and between that and Farm Road, 1960. That's your tornado. Folks, and also want to point out, the circulation is well over a mile wide, nearly 2 miles wide.
I'm just going to take this off for a second to show you. I mean, you can see the home there or whatever that maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and zoom on in.
Okay.
Take a closer look. What do you think? What's that look like to you?
Yeah, you can see multiple structures anyway.
Yeah.
Right here between 1970 and 1960. And I just hope those folks are in their safe spots right now.
It crossed right here.
Yes, it did. And I'll show you, back on velocity or
the tornado went right over them.
Yeah, it's right there.
It went right over them. So anybody that lives at that farm road, you saw that house right there. We might need to check on those folks. I know Southwest Oklahoma is going to come pouring out and helping these people that have been hit. And folks, we're going to have damage. We've got homes that have been hit. We had homes getting hit live on the air earlier when this whole thing began.
Oh, it's weakened.
And great news there. Great news there. It's
we're coming up on 50 minutes of this thing being on the ground.
Yeah, 50-minute long track, strong to violent tornado. Okay, so here it is. Here's Victory. West of Victory, 1.5 miles. It has weakened. Circulation's not as strong. Now, here's what you got to watch out for. If this is a cyclic, tornadic supercell, what's going to happen is this is going to pull to the north, and then we got to watch east and southeast for another area to spin. It's that type of environment. This might be it for the day, and then good night, Katrina, and we're done, right? There's a chance this goes north and dies, and then we get another one down here. I'm just guesstimating. Done this a while. But this is going to pull north and weaken, right? It's happening right before your eyes. And we'll see what it does. And then this might be another area developing down southwest of Altus, which is exactly what we don't want. Goodness gracious.
I was just looking at the track. It's been about 15 miles that this has gone in about 50 minutes now. So it's been moving very, very slowly. Hopefully that was enough lead time for the folks in the path of this to seek shelter. Yeah. Because what a strong tornado this has been, David.
Yeah, strong to violent. I mean, we've left the EF1s, EF2s to EF3s, and we think we probably had at least velocity data clearly says maybe an EF4. Okay, violent tornado down here for sure. We know that we have damage. Our storm trackers have seen homes that have been hit. We had the one home hit live on News 9, live. And then Val has, he has seen a couple of tractors, at least one tractor flipped and overturned. Those aren't light. You don't just do that, right? So either way, the tornado warning continues. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom on into this and see where it is. And
look at the hail core come up.
Massive storm. Hail core, yeah, definitely ramping up now. South of Martha. What's hail size? Did we kind of ignore that just because we've had bigger problems?
Yeah, it's been baseballs. When I checked it earlier, it's been consistently baseball-sized hail within the strongest part of the core.
A lot of hail, probably, or...
Oh, look at the circulation, David, southwest of Altus now.
Okay.
You were just talking about that
developing. So, hey, here's the deal. Here's the deal. We need to get Brandon. We need to tell Brandon, Andrew, tell Brandon, new area of circulation now developing. This is what we just talked about.
He's heading that way.
He's going to stay in Altus to the southwest?
He's heading south right now.
He's heading south to intercept that.
Yeah, okay. So this is going to be a new area. Brandon's going to pop out of this, and it's going to be right in front of him. Okay, this is going to be a new area of spin. I'm not saying it's going to produce a tornado, but it's a cyclic supercell. You get one storm, one tornado down, another one reloads, another one down, another one reloads.
And this one is 2.5 miles southwest of Altus, and it's moving northeast towards like downtown Altus.
Okay, let's go ahead and lapse this. Let's see what this does. Altus, you missed the problem back to the west, but now you've got your own problem here developing. It's not on the ground yet, but it's coming up. That's a problem. That's a problem, Altus. All right, let's go to Brandon Pennell. He's 2.5 miles, 3 miles north of that. Brandon, bring you back in. You're headed southbound. New area of circulation now, southwest of Altus, 2 miles. Brandon, new area of circulation. The other circulation continues to weaken. And so we have a new area of spin that's going to try to go right over Altus. Brandon Pennell, can you hear me?
Yeah. So, hey, Dave, we came back south. We're headed back to Highway 62 on the west side of Altus. We're going to pop out in front of this probably. Are we at 62? No. How much? Keep going. Oh, this is 62. Okay, so we're on 62 right now. Is the circulation still south of 62? The new one?
Yes. Here's the deal. It's 1, 2, 3, 3.5 miles south. Hey, Brandon, it's 3.5 miles south of the road that you're on, and you're on Market Road or Farm Road 2030. If you head south, yes, it's going to go pretty much right on top of Altus, the new area of circulation. What do you think? What do you see? Go ahead.
Right now, the visibility is extremely poor because we're still in the rain as we look back to the southwest. One thing I can tell you is that since we've come into the north side of Altus and now almost through Altus, the lightning has really increased, and we started taking some quarter to probably $half size hail just at our last location. So the core is exploding again. So it does not surprise me, the way that these things cycle, that it's trying to do it again back on the southwest side. We're starting to get a little bit more visibility now as we're starting to try to come out of the rain. We're probably still, I'd say, 1 to 2 minutes away from being able to see back to the west-southwest just to see what we're dealing with. So as soon as we get in, I'll holler as soon as we get in a position to where I can see. Right now it's just blinding rain. Back to you.
All right, so he's coming out. See the clearing down to the south? He's going to pop out of this thing, and this next area of spin, he's just going to keep going south. He's dropping south. And then, Brandon, when you drop south, get a little farther south and get back east, and you'll have a clear shot of this thing. All right, let's go back to Links 1 here.
And I'll show you where that is, David. I know you're seeing those streets, but I'm also looking over here. It's right near, for folks familiar with the Altus area, by the Altus wastewater treatment plant, which is going to be on the southwest side of town. That's right underneath that where Brandon's coming up on.
Right here?
And the Oklahoma Cotton Co-op Association. Yes.
Okay, so right here.
You can see it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take this off, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about on the
so
terrain.
there's a lot
right
down
there.
Okay, so that's the...
yes, that's near the wastewater treatment plant.
Wastewater treatment plant. Tornadoes right here.
And it looks like if it's developing, it's just south of there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's still stretched out.
Yeah. Okay, it's nothing crazy, but we're definitely watching it. You folks in Altus, again, it's just southwest of town here. Val's coming in on Highway 6. Let's go back up here and see what we have with our big problem we had earlier. Man, that thing is gone.
Yep.
Wow. How long was it on the ground? 50 minutes?
At least 50 minutes and about 15 miles.
How many miles?
15.
15 miles, 15 miles, 50 minutes.
Got it.
EF3, EF4, up to a half to a mile wide, multiple vortex, strong to violent tornado. We know we have homes damaged, We do not know if we have any injuries or fatalities. We do not know that right now. But watch the tornado come right there and die. And look how fast that dies. Boom. It's gone. It was born, it lived, and it is dead. That is. Now, we have this to worry about. This is a broad area of circulation, but often when you have something that's that strong in the atmosphere that spins off like that, you try to get something farther south and east. Remember, this thing, it's alive and well. It does not want to die. And the maximum strength a storm gets on a day like today is a tornado. It is the ultimate for a storm because it's maximized all that it's offered in the atmosphere. Everything. Jet stream, the instability, the low level, everything, all the parameters. The maximum, the end output for a storm like this is to produce a tornado. It's also release of energy in the atmosphere. It's how we release the atmosphere's buildup of the days before and today and all that. So here's the deal, though. It still wants to stay alive. It does not want to die, but it will. But right now, it's still a big storm. So the original tornado is now gone. And also, control room, if we can put together, I know we have it, several pieces. Okay, let's roll some of that, and then we'll jump back to this. And we have, okay, let's just roll some of that. Go ahead, let's just roll. Just kind of go down the line here. When I get tired of it, we'll come back to the radar here. Let's roll some of the video. Start off with Tom's. I know we have Val's. I know we have Jeremy's. Folks, that is a strong to violent tornado. I mean, that is a bad tornado. I mean, just simply put. That's the kind of tornado you have to, I mean, look how, and we call it laminar, how smooth it is on the side. This is a little bit earlier before we got to that beast mode when it was one cone, but we had multiple vortices underneath it. Look at the horizontal tube wrapping around the front side. That's closer to you. Look at this tube here. Look at this tube here. This put on, I said like Medusa, it looked like a snake fest down here. I'm telling you, we had multiple vortices going on, and now it starts to cone out. Look at the cloud. Look at the condensate on the ground. That's a grass hugger. That thing, a tree hugger. That thing is, I mean, the tornado's on the ground, but the condensate is whipping across with the water vapor. That is a strong tornado right there, and it just kept getting stronger. Let's take a look at some of the other video here. We'll just kind of keep this going. And this whole thing began, and watch this house. There's the chimney. Watch the house. Watch the house. And the tornado was directly above this house. Can you hear Val talking? He's right there. This is the house. We had this live on News 9. And basically coming apart. It's set on top of them. Usually a tornado, when it moves, and it's moving at 20, 30 miles per hour, tornado lasts at your location for 30 seconds or less. This went on for like a minute, 2 minutes on top of these people's homes. It could have been worse. I think part of it was still standing. Don't get me wrong. This is bad. None of this is good. None of this is good. All right, let's go back to some other video here. Look at the vortices. I mean, there's so much going on. Let's take a look at some of the other video, and we'll just keep this going here, and then we'll get back to what's going on with the storms down here. But there's that. Jen, do we have any other video? I know we've got a lot more than this to show. Okay. Okay. We already saw this, so let's try to find, if you can, something else. When you get something else brought up, let me know. Let's go back to links 1. God, look at that, folks. Okay, let's go back to links 1 and take a look at it here. Links 1, control room. And, okay, so there's your big hook, right? And we might have another hook developing a little bit west of town here, a little farther to the west here. Lace, are you watching that?
Yeah, that storm is kind of the back edge of it. I mean, this is what we've seen these storms do how many times in southwest Oklahoma this spring, where it really does start to weaken. It lifts to the north. The whole supercell starts to fall apart, and it finds a way to backbuild back to the west. This happened Sunday as well with the Canadian County supercell. It did the exact same thing and produced a tornado on the west side. And that one, it's trying. Tom is right there in that new circulation. Yeah, and this is going to be a new area of spin. Here's Tom on 62. There goes the old tornado right there. Boom, gone. This next area of spin near Altus, Brandon's on that. Nothing too crazy. It is spinning. There's the mesocyclone, the new one. And then we're going to watch back here where Tom is. Reflectivity showing it, but it's certainly not out of control. The hook is just getting, kind of beginning to live, it looks like.
Right.
And then the circulation south of Altus is still very apparent as well.
Yep. Okay. So here we go. Let's go back to Brandon Pennell.
Okay.
He's on 283, and this is the area of spin we're talking about. Brandon, you're back in it, and you're looking right at it. So that's that new area of spin. Not on the ground right now, but it continues to get a little bit stronger.
Yeah, David, that's right. So we're going to be south of Altus on 283, looking back to the north. We just cleared the rain. I was able to spin around. You can see the large lowering that's pretty much on the south side or just over the southwest side of Altus right now as we're creeping back to the north. We're also watching back to the west, what looks like possible another a little bit more development. But right now the most imminent thing is the southwest side of Altus. I do not see anything on the ground. There is some pretty good rotation, especially on the right-hand side of this lowering. You can kind of see the colander look to it, how it looks like a bell shape, and it's rotating. I wouldn't say anything super rapid right now. It's kind of still in the reorganization stage from what it was for the last hour to 45 minutes to an hour. But we're right here looking at it. We're going to stay right underneath it as it comes into Altus and through Altus. We're going to clear it for it. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Nice job. So, again, new area of circulation. Again, south of Altus. Man, Altus, I'll tell you what, you've split the uprights today. Circulation to your south, not a tornado. It's right here, south of Altus, moving east, right? Brandon's right there, and he's just going to keep moving east with it. It could cycle and try to produce another tornado. Remember, the low-level jet, low-level dynamics are still here. There is nothing out ahead of this. This is what we call telling Charlie. This thing is alive and well. It's breathing, and it's got nothing south and east of it contaminating the air that it's pulling in to live and eat, basically.
David,
go ahead.
Val said power's out on the west side of Altus.
Okay, power's out. There you go. Let's go back to Val. He's in Altus. And let's get an update from Val Castor in Altus. Val, by the way, a couple areas of new areas of spin developing, Val. One south of Altus and also one back to your southwest, about 8 to 9 miles, Val. So 2 more areas of spin we've got to watch. Give us a quick update from Altus. Go ahead, Val.
Okay, so the power is off. It looks like about the western half of Altus. There is no power at all. We're on the east side of Altus now, and the power is on. We've got north winds, obviously feeding south into that meso to our south. So what our plans are, David, is to maybe get on the far east side of Altus over here, maybe drop south a little bit and try to watch this area that looks like it's trying to reform on the south side or just south of Altus. If that doesn't do anything, we have that other one you talked about to the southwest. It'll be coming to us anyway. So that's what we're doing. We're watching it. We're tracking it. Back to you, David.
Okay. All right. Nice job. Okay. So Val's back in Altus here, but here's the concern. Here's the problem right now. The original tornado that was on the ground for 50 minutes, it was a mile wide. It was an EF3, maybe an EF4. Violent tornado, strong tornado, took out homes, farm equipment, west through southwest of Altus. Okay, and then it died west of Altus. That is now gone. But what's going on is this storm's not gone. So the party continues. And what I mean by that is, watch this hook develop here. Okay, that's a problem. And also another hook developing where Brandon is. We're showing big hail in Altus, but Val didn't have any big hail in Altus, did he? So it's a little bit aloft.
That's a good thing because that core is going just on the north side of Altus, so hopefully there are no baseballs in there, but there easily could. When you have a violent tornado, baseball-size hail's usually just hand in hand.
Yeah, it's just north, no doubt about it. I mean, it's big. They've had a little bit of hail, probably in Altus.
Yeah.
But the biggest hail is to your north, up 283. And this is going to be tennis balls, maybe some baseballs in here. All right, so Brandon's right here watching this. Let's go. Hang on a second. I'm going to be bearing straight here.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to Brandon again one more time. Brandon, we have your shot up. There's your lowering. Brandon, that's it. You're looking right at it. You are on 283, just a few miles south of Altus, kind of in the industrial area down there on the south side of town. What do you think, Brandon, looking at it, looking off to your north there? How fast is that rotating?
David, I would say it's moderate rotation at the cloud base. Clearly nothing like what it was earlier, but I still think that it's in the reorganization stage. As that old circulation included, it takes just a minute for these things to come back around and live and breathe. I can tell you we're in west RFD winds right now as the circulation is just off to our northeast. our road options are fairly limited here. It's either drop way south and then go back east towards Tipton, or we're kind of trying to float in between. One thing I can say is that the lowering back to the west-southwest is becoming more prevalent. It's lowered quite a bit. It's nothing crazy. They're both probably about the same right now. So there's two areas, again, fighting each other within the same storm. So, but I feel like the one back to the west and the southwest is probably trying to take over right now. Back to you.
All right, nice job, Brandon. Okay, so Brandon's going to stay with it as we keep, again, tracking this cyclic supercell. It has cycled right now, trying to produce yet another tornado. We'll see if it does it. We hope it doesn't, but we also want to point out, got another hook on the backside over here now, east of Hollis.
Hank is north of that storm.
Yeah, and he's coming in from the north. It is severe. That storm's severe, and the hook's going to go right down Highway 62 again. So we got to watch that. There's circulation right there. Nothing crazy. And then we have Jeremy, we have Brandon, we have Val, and Tom, all in Altus right now. And we have taken over Altus. News 9 storm trackers have taken over Altus. They're all over. So give them a wave when you see them going through town. All right, so tornado continues. Tornado warning continues. Right now, it doesn't look like we have a tornado on the ground. Let's go back to velocity and talk about, big hail. This is damaging hail up in here, right north of Altus. It's trying to tighten up right here. See the wind? The wind's starting to accelerate east.
Yeah, and a lot of times, many times, right when you start to see that rear inflow jet start to feed into it, you get the circulation kind of on that east side or northeast side. Right here.
So tornado's going to be right here. Let's go to, Val, turn reflectivity on. I'm sorry. Let's see where Val is. Where is he in the rain? Yeah. Okay, he's still in the rain. Okay, it's going down 62. Okay, so tornado warning now continues for you folks in Altus for several reasons. For this right here, but this is southeast of town. Okay, this is for southeast of town. And then, is this warned back here now?
I'll show you. There's the confirmed tornado warning I can turn off. That's from earlier. You can see the red tornado warning.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the new one is for this right here.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's southeast of Altus.
It is southeast of Altus.
That video is ready from earlier.
Okay, let's take a look at some of the video from earlier and of this storm, what it was doing when it first set down. And take a look at this, folks. This has not been sped up. This is real time, multiple vortex. It looks like something from Mars. It's just crazy what was going on in here. And whose video was this? Was this Tom Pastrano's?
Yes.
And again, it's all condensate. Yes, there's dust in here. There's debris in here. Wow. But watch the vortices, how fast they form, and then they break off. Because you have all these vortex breakdowns going on. There is so much going on. Look at the vortice there rotating around. And then you'll see another one form out here. Watch, it's just a merry-go-round. Watch this wrap around here. Right? And that's already a strong tornado. And this is why when this moves through a neighborhood like this, while you have a house like right here that is basically 80% gone or heavily damaged, and the home right next to it is, part of the roof's torn off or some shingles are gone, and the guy across the street or 2 blocks away is nearly all gone. I think we froze up on that piece of video, did we not? Okay, so that was incredible. All right, so tornado warning continues for you folks south and east of Altus. And where is Tom? He looks like he is in it. He's on the backside of the wrap here.
Yeah, that's the other hook. Okay. And then the storm is getting stronger back near
Hollis.
Basically north of Gould.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Hank right here, correct?
Yes, Hank's north.
Okay. And how far is Hank? Oh, Hank's a little bit out. He's still coming in. And
it is moving east-southeast.
Yeah, this is going to head down towards Duke. Might try to produce another tornado. The low-level jet we talk about right now, it's fully in rare form right now. That southeast wind at, again, 3,000 to 5,000 feet up, it's ripping. And that's what we talked about all afternoon. When that low-level jet kicks in, tornado genesis will be higher this evening, a higher chance this evening. And that's exactly what has happened. All right, so this is beginning to spin faster east of Hollis, right? This is spinning faster. Tornado warning continues south and east of Altus. Let's go to Valcaster. He's now east of the area of circulation.
Okay, put it on that little thing.
Yep. Val, what do you think as you look back to your south-southwest there? What are you seeing right there?
Well, that's what we were looking at. Amy just found that in the camera as we got out of the rain. We still got a little bit of rain falling right now, but we're able to see we're out enough. And I would say that is a slight lowering over there, and that might be where things are trying to ramp back up. I'm not for sure until we could get under it, but it's definitely structure. It looks like it's under the base to me, and it's trying to become a lowering. How significant it is, or if there's rotation, I'm not sure yet. Give me about 3 or 4 minutes, and we ought to be able to see it. Back to you.
Okay, I see a little bit of a lowering there. Yeah, there it is. So that's trying to poke its head back out here. No doubt about it. I mean, this is going to be east of Altus. We still now have the one big storm, right? But now we still have the other supercell that's in behind this one. All right, let's go back to radar here, and there it is. And so we have these two. By the way, Oklahoma City, I mean, this is in far southwest Oklahoma. This is way down here, right? And so we have two supercells moving east-southeast at about 15 to occasionally 20 miles per hour. And they're going right down Highway 62, big supercell here. And you can see the hook on that, another hook developing on that, big hail, big wind.
I'm just going to turn the warnings off here, David, for a second. So
that's fine.
So many things going on.
All right.
There you go.
So
look at the hail. Wow, look at the hail core coming up now south of Reed.
Yeah, baseballs.
Oh, yeah. That's probably baseballs, if not softball size hail.
Yeah, so look at the hail cores here, folks. Damaging hail. Yeah, this is tearing up a lot of property right now. Tearing up a lot of property.
And the wheat crop and the peanut fields.
Yeah, and the wheat down here that looked good before this. I know, it's not good. It's been a crazy year. We've had we had 85 tornadoes as of this morning, and right now we're looking at least another 15 for the day.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe more.
You had to count those individual vortices, those individual satellite tornadoes. At one point, there were 3 on the ground. I was looking at that looked like, if you were zoomed in on it, would have been just a tornado on its own, and then you zoom out and you've got 3 of them circulating around the meso. It's wild.
Yeah.
How do you count those individually?
It was crazy. I mean, it was truly, truly crazy. All right, so big hail from Schroeder over to Russell. Baseballs, maybe some softballs in here. And then down to Gould. And then down to Highway 62. And this is developing a little bit of a hook. We got to watch this. Right now it's severe. Winds 50 to 60, damaging hail, winds 50 to 60. And then as you move farther east, here's the new mesocyclone right here. Here's Altus, right? Here's Hightower, here's Val, Brandon Pennell, Jeremy Carter. And wow. Okay, so circulation is not as tight. Nothing like what it was when it was producing the maxi tornado, the violent tornado. Nothing like that. But man, this thing is still playing for sure. Okay, so this keeps going down 62. The tornado threat is south and east of Altus, but not by much. Jeremy's right there looking right at it. The next hook's in behind it. And then we have the third hook trying to come in now down Highway 62. Okay, so the tornado warning continues for south and east of Altus. Velocity data one more time.
Okay, I just put the track on there just so you can see.
It's fine.
Cache 931, Medicine Park 953, and Lawton, if it holds together, around 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and I find it hard to believe it's going to die before it gets to Lawton, at least producing big hail and all the above.
And it's still moving very slowly, so we'll see.
Yeah, right. Okay. Hey, Amanda, you've got a little more at the news desk. You want to take it if you're ready to go?
I do. I just want to pass along to our viewers because we've been making calls to see about damage in and around the path of the tornado.
Yeah.
Just talked to a Jackson County Sheriff's deputy, and he's telling me he has guys that went by and they did see damage. They saw 4 homes damaged right near Highway 62 and County Road 196. So this is going to be closer to Altus. It's going to be just west of town. We do have our news crews headed that way. So as soon as we get eyes on it, we can tell you what type of damage it is. We'll pass that along as well. But we are making calls all around to that area just to see if any other homes have been damaged. So no reports of any injuries or fatalities. So that's the good news right now. And there are some power outages. I don't think those numbers have caught quite up yet, so I don't want to pass those along. But we do know power outages in the area, hail in the area. And David, what we're hearing so far, 4 homes hit near Altus around the County Road 196 and Highway 62. David, I'll toss it back over to you.
All right. Okay. So, and again, this is what our trackers have confirmed by what they were seeing. We knew we had damage. We had that one home that was hit live only on News 9, and that was horrible because the tornado sat on top of them for a couple of minutes, on top of that farmhouse, and it just kept hammering it. And you can see the chimney, and we'll find out what happened to that place. Hopefully they're okay. We do not know. And if anybody knows, when you were watching, where we were, what we were looking at, let us know, right? Give us an update on if you know how folks are down here that have been hit. This covered a lot of real estate, and there are many, many homes and ranches and farms all through here. Okay, let's jump back into this, and let's go back to...
I was just showing you there's a shower. It's probably Anvil Precip over Godebo and Carnegie, but I was watching that kind of move up to the northeast.
Okay.
It's not doing much at the moment, but...
And data doesn't do anything with it, right?
Correct.
Not that that matters.
Right. Yeah, because these storms they're still going very strong here at 820.
Yeah.
So they are moving kind of that east-southeasterly direction still as of right now.
Right. Hey, where was that track you drew? Is that on Links 3 or 2?
It's on 2.
Let's go to Links 2 here real quick.
It got a little squirrely there at the end.
That's all right.
This is a very precise location based on velocity data.
I like squirrely. This is, and again, this is Highway 62. Altus is 10 miles east of that intersection behind me. The tornado set down right here. And you can see farms in here, little homes, a couple of homes, home here, and that was the path of the tornado. And look at the path, look what it did. It occluded, it lifted north as it was going into its dying stage of life, crossed Highway 62, and then died right there just to the west of Victory. Andrew Adams, what you got? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, now that we got the path on there, Highway 34, Jeremy was saying he saw almost a mile of power lines down
back here
on Highway 34. And you notice that's a north-south highway, which means that you know, perpendicular crossing. That means that that's more of the width of the tornado,
for sure,
as it was passing Highway 34.
Yeah, yeah. And we were saying, you know, half mile to possibly a mile wide. I mean, it for sure was multiple vortex tornado, like we've been showing you in the video here, and we had it live for goodness sakes, only on News 9 for I don't know how long.
50 minutes.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, just incredible. But we have news crews on the way into southwest Oklahoma. Trackers are still down here tracking it. And Marty Logan, look at that guy. Talk about a guy with no quit. That guy's coming in from the north. I mean, remember, he lives basically in Canada. I'm just kidding. But he lives in northwest Oklahoma, and he'll drive anywhere for anything. All right.
Look at the hail northwest of Duke.
Yeah. No, it's big hail. I mean, the hail core, is it as big? Yeah, it's still, no, it is. I just talked myself out of it.
Yeah, it may have shrunk in size slightly, but I don't know if the hail sizes have come down.
No, that's a big hail core. It looks like it might have weakened there, but still, it's between Russell and southeast of Schroeder. My gosh, look at storm strength. Have we seen it this year very much? Maybe a couple of times?
Yeah, the Supercell that went for the hundreds of miles on Sunday, it did that the entire way. It was just like this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got multiple storms that merge, and then this one beast of a storm takes over.
Yeah.
And that one, I mean, has produced multiple tornadoes tonight once again.
I mean, tonight was truly textbook. We said 2 storms, merge. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get worse. Low-level jets kicking in.
Yeah. And there are years that just disrupts everything.
Yeah.
But that's not happening.
No, not this year. This is the year that it takes very little to get a whole lot, and we have proven that over and over again. This hook continues to ramp up. This hook is getting stronger as it's coming into Duke.
Val said he's got a developing lowering.
Yep, there he does. I see it. So, okay, just to get your bearings straight, here's Val and Brandon. They're both there together, and Val's going to be east of Altus. He's right here, and let's take his shot now. He's just to the west of Hedrick.
Okay.
Val, your shot's a little bit frozen up on us there, but go ahead and give us an update.
All right, so what's going on is we notice it looks like it's ramping up again just south of us. Okay, a mile and a half south of the highway here, maybe 4 or 5 miles east of Altus. We're driving south, and you see this lowering down here. I mean, that's kind of the first clue that this thing's getting stronger and ramping up. Now, I'm not right under it. I can't really see what the rotation looks like on it, but I can say the north winds feeding into it have really strengthened where we are. And to me, it looks like it's on an uptick at the moment. So we'll watch it for you and track it. Back to you, David.
Okay. All right. Nice job, Val. And Val has just had an incredible day, along with Tom and Jeremy, on these storms. I mean, you're not going to find more experienced veteran storm trackers than you're going to find here on News 9. You realize you combine all their years of experience storm tracking, over 300 years? Yeah, go find that anywhere in the country or the world. No joke, right? These guys are the best at what they do. I mean, they're the best. Every time they go out, they play like they're in the Super Bowl, and they play hard, and this is what they do. They hunt down and track down Oklahoma's crazy weather, and they're really, 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 really good at it. If they weren't, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't be doing this for us. They wouldn't be doing what they're doing right now. There's his lowering. Yeah, that's coming around. That's definitely coming around now. That's going to be east of Altus, and folks, that's going to try to head towards Snyder or just south of Snyder. Okay, not on the ground. You can clearly see that. But this is how the whole other thing began earlier. What I don't like, though, is now we're getting to the nighttime phase. We have a little more daylight considering we're in southwest Oklahoma. You have a few more minutes of daylight than we do here in Oklahoma City or points east, obviously. This thing is not tightened up yet to tornado strength as far as getting a tornado yet, but you can see Val's shot. And he's, okay, oh yeah, Val's shot's, I'm sorry, my bad, I was looking. Yeah, Brandon is still going east, and they're together though. They're 2 miles south of Highway 62, still going east. Okay, let's go to Brandon here. Let's bring Brandon in. And I think that's Val in front of Brandon, as a matter of fact.
It is, yeah.
Okay, they're tag teaming here. Brandon, what do you think? Your picture looks really, really good there. Give us an update. How fast is that rotating right there? It's trying to tighten up. It's trying, but it hasn't quite done it yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. So, yeah, that is Val right in front of us. As we're heading south on the same highway, you know, I would say it's weak to moderate rotation at times. It's nothing off the charts by any stretch. But when Val was saying that the north winds had picked up, so he was coming south as we were coming east out of Altus on a further south road, and we basically met. We were taking winds out of the north and northwest, and then to the northeast, the further east we got, at probably 45 to 50, approaching 60 at times, feeding back into this. And another thing, Val might chime in on this in a second too, but it looks like we can see what looks to be another pretty well-pronounced base straight to our west, literally right out our passenger window. So that could be that back hook trying to come around, and we're right here on the southern edge of the old circulation. So we're going to have to stay right here with it to see which one finally figures itself out, if they're going to fight each other for a while and, you know, do what they've been doing all day and become one. Back to you.
Okay. All right. Great job, Brandon. All right. So, hey, Brandon, I want to point out, just listen to me here. Your roads are going to get really gnarly, and they're not going to be any good. So you're going to have to probably turn back north. There's a new area that you're looking at, but look back to your north. Not very far. There's another area of circulation now just to your north, Brandon, that's back up towards the highway. But your roads, it looks like to me, because of the river, you're going to have to make your way back north as well. So here's Brandon, and new little area of spin right here. Let's see. Let's go to velocity data one more time. Let's see what we have. Yeah, it's not quite as pronounced. There's little kinks right here, but it's not quite like what it was. There's Jeremy's shot. And Jeremy's farther south now.
And it was moving southeast.
I don't hear you there. Go ahead.
It was moving southeast.
It looks like it's moving easterly now, too. Just for the trackers in the field. See how it's moving and progressing over, kind of paralleling Highway 62?
Yeah, more east now. Well, I say, yes, that is. And then I look back here, and this is...
Oh, it's almost pivoting. Yeah.
I mean, it's like this is trying to do this, and then this is trying to do this.
On the backside.
So, okay, look at Hank's shot. Goodness gracious. So let's see what these storms look like. Let's go to Hank's shot here, control room. We can squeeze back radar behind me. That's textbook. Back sheared anvil. Look at the plates. This is downward convection. It's going up so hard and fast that the convection is coming out of the anvil. See, that's knuckling back. I call those cauliflower knuckles. And it's incredible to see in his video in person. It'll make you take a seat. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, it's incredible. The updraft. Remember, this is going 60,000 feet. You fly in an airplane to here. That's 60,000 feet up, and this whole thing is a deep mesocyclone spinning from left to right. That is an incredible shot, and that's the reason. All those things, That's the reason why we've had a long track, strong to violent tornado today. We're checking on damage. We know we have damage. We're checking on injuries and fatalities. Andrew Adams,
Hank was saying that's the Gould storm, not the other one. So that's the westernmost storm right there.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's on the west side. Okay, still incredible. Still amazing to look at.
Video's ready.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the video here again. And this is from a little bit earlier. We have your times on here for you. And folks, not sped up, real time. 1 tornado, 2 tornadoes, 3 tornadoes. Keep counting them. That goes away. Again, not sped up, real time. No trickery here. Okay, watch it. Okay, we get a 2 breakdown. Another tornado. Another tornado. Another, how many? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what, a minute, 30 seconds here so far? Now we get another cone. Another tornado. Multiple vortex. Another tornado. I mean, it's a horizontal tornado. Look at that. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Okay, and then here goes another one. All right, so there goes another one. I mean, this thing went on and on and on and on. Who shot this? Was this Val?
That was Jeremy.
That was Jeremy's stuff. Okay, yeah, that was wild stuff. Okay, we had that live, again, only on News 9. All of our trackers did. We had this thing circle. I mean, we were slicing and dicing. Our guys and gals today, folks, it doesn't get any better than that. That is precision storm chasing at its finest. Surgical storm chasing right there. Get in on it. Listen, anybody can chase and get 4 or 5 miles away. Great. Nice job. But to get in close like that, why do we get in close? You think people go, well, because you're crazy? That's fine. I'll own that. But also, you get in close so you can tell people at home and the viewers at home exactly where that tornado is, right? Nothing better than eyes in the field. Nothing better than eyes in the field. Looking at the tornado at blank range. I'm at the corner of this and this. That's why we chase like we do. Okay, all right. Thank you, Jen. Okay, so going down 62 here, a little bit of an increase now. In that, a little bit of an increase now to the east, west of Hedrick. A little bit back here. And what's going on back in here?
That's the hook. And there's still nothing really organized southwest of Altus.
No.
The air's pretty worked over in this area, but it's trying to almost push to the south on that backside.
Uh-huh.
And I'll say the south end of that, if you look on reflectivity from Frederick and the laps, it looks like it's gusted out a little bit. You can kind of see the gust front south of Valesti and Humphreys, basically from where Val and Jeremy are to the southwest.
Yeah, nice catch. Nice observation, Andrew. Very good, my friend. Yeah, so here's the deal. By the way, Mesonet, is it showing anything down there that I'm just curious if anybody's, I'm going to look at velocity data. Let's check.
You mean wind gusts?
Yeah, gusts out of the north here. Look at velocity data. Let's see what we have here. We're out of Frederick. What do we have? Yeah, so this is coming towards a little bit of a way here, but that looks kind of weird. And then more towards, trying to look at, again, if they have a north wind underneath these, they will not produce tornadoes. They'll produce wind and hail all day, damaging wind, damaging hail.
Altus did have a gust to 68.
Altus did?
Uh-huh.
There's damage in Altus then. At least some. What about power outages when you guys get a second?
Amanda was just talking about that. It was still delayed. You do? Okay.
You have it? All right. Amanda, you and Carl at the desk.
You got it.
Give us an update. Go ahead.
So right now there are 461 customers without power. That is statewide. I think some of those numbers are going to be delayed because there has to be more people without power right now in Jackson County. We've been making calls too on the surrounding areas where this tornado went through, and we did just hear from the sheriff. I want to give you the very latest here. Okay, Jackson County Sheriff telling us they have a lot of power lines down in that area, which we know, we've seen that from our storm trackers. They have several tractors and equipment that have been overturned in the area. And they have, as we previously reported, they also have those reports of the 4 homes that have been damaged on the west side of Altus. They're waiting, though, till they can actually get there because the power line's down and the storms as well.
And, that's kind of the situation when you have, a storm like this. It just takes a second to deploy all those crews out there to get an official damage estimate out there. But that's what's happening right now. Yep. It sounds like as crews are getting out there into these neighborhoods, out on these rural roads and seeing the damage.
So as soon as we get more information, we will let you know, David. For now, though, we'll send it back over to you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Nice job. Okay. So this is we'll call this the mother storm that produced all the tornado video we've had for you. We've had it live. What time did it start, Lacey, as far as 5:30?
The tornado warning.
What time was it?
The tornado warning.
I've lost track.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the 5 o'clock hour, but the actual tornado, the large violent one, touched down at 7:04.
Okay.
Was the timing. It was
Yeah. The whole thing.
Yeah,
yes.
the whole thing.
Yeah. Goodness. Okay. So what I like about this shot, big storm, big hail, big wind, big storm, big hail north of Duke, damaging hail north of Duke, tennis balls, baseballs, and a hook on that. See how these are sliding southeast? See this green line in here? That's the outflow boundary. So as long as these storms have a north wind undercutting them, not a southeast wind feeding them, but just above our heads, remember that 850 jet I was talking about, that's above this, that storm is still being fed by the low-level jet. That's why it still looks like that, even with the north wind at the surface. But here's the deal. It still has a north wind. So it's almost nearly impossible to get tornado genesis out of that storm because of that green line right there that is accelerating to the south. Producing big hail, big wind all day, all night, right? But this is the problem, is that this green line wraps back into right here. Now the hook on this is back by Altus, but the other inflow area is a little farther east. But there's nothing imminent right now as far as the tornado, all right? And looking at velocity data, there's broad areas of spin, but right now there's nothing in there where we're like, oh my gosh, or we'd tell you, right? Shear rate, sure, has the line of wind from a west wind to blowing from west to east. And this is going to be winds in here, 50, 60 to 70, coming into Hedrick. Hedrick right now going down 62. But the hook is back here with a north wind. So that will not produce.
David, Brandon said he's got an update for you.
Yeah, but points farther east we have to watch. Let's go to Brandon Pennell and get an update from him. Brandon, what do you think? Incredible storm. And what's your wind right there? Give us an update on what you're looking at right now. Go ahead. You're just to the west of Tipton, down southeast of Altus. Go ahead.
Yeah, David, that's right. So we're on Highway 5 southeast of Altus. One thing I can tell you that I heard you talking about it, so we started kind of trying to pay attention and gotten a better position. So this is looking straight back to the west, and you can see, that storm's pretty far off. It's got a pretty good lowered base on it, but we're taking north winds here that have undercut this storm on the south and southeast side. Now, that doesn't mean that the storm further to the west isn't getting inflow. And another thing I want to tell you that's coming around that west storm, as I pan back to the southwest, you can see the RFD coming around on the south side of it and pushing all of that dirt and wind back to the west or back to the southeast. So there's a tremendous amount of wind still to our west being pushed to the south and east off of the west storm. And actually now as I pan back to the right and I zoom in, that right side right there is really, I can't tell if there's pretty good movement, but that continues to evolve. I think it'll be the storm that's probably this hole in here still needs to be watched. We can still see a little bit of spin. You're saying the 850 jet's kicking in. Even though we have north winds at the surface, we can still see spin in the mid-levels, so it's going to be a question of can it latch back on or does the gust front wash out or whatever. So we're right here with it. We'll let you know if anything changes. Back to you.
All right. Nice job, Brandon. So we're going to keep tracking this. Again, right now, tornado is not imminent right now, but circulation does continue, but it's a far cry from what it was earlier. Okay, so we have two large supercells. We have the mothership, we're calling it. That's the storm that produced, I just gelled my hand, so it's okay. This is the big supercell that produced, again, the large and violent tornado on the ground for over 15 miles, on the ground for 50 minutes, that put on just an incredible show. It was just, oh my gosh. And then this storm has not produced a tornado, but still producing some wind and hail. Your gust front is down here, and this is behind the gust front. But let's go back to what this looked like earlier, and this is when we had it live on News 9. We have 50 minutes of this. This is just some of it, but count the tornadoes with me. 1, 2, there's 3 for the day. We had more before this. This is about number 10 or 12 for the day. Okay, so that goes away. Look how fast. All right, vortex breakdown. Now watch, digging, lifting. Digging, lifting. Here comes the next one. Look at that, boom. Right? So this is why when it's moving through a neighborhood, while you have a house that would have heavy damage, look at the vortices here. Come on the, oh my gosh. Okay, look at this right here. I feel like I'm watching it live again. Goodness, look at all that. I look like Medusa, I'm telling you. Is that right? Is that right? Is that what I'm saying there? Yeah. Okay, all right, make sure. Just asking. Yeah. If I need to be corrected, Phil, free to jump in at any time. Because I know you will.
It looks like octopus tentacles.
Yeah, octopus, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's a bad deal for sure. That was Jeremy Carter stuff. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. So this keeps moving east-southeast down towards Tipton, right? Lake Frederick, Snyder, prepare for big hail in Snyder. Tornado warning continues, right? Tornado warning, not on the storm back to the west for a tornado, but for hail. And that's going down 62. Let's go to Tom Pastrano now. Look at these shots.
Yeah, Brandon has a great shot too.
Okay, and let's get an update from Tom. Tom, big hail is right on your back end. Big hail on your back end coming right down 62. And Tom, I just want to say, great job today storm tracking. You were all over it from start to finish. Good job, my friend. I owe you a dinner. Go ahead, give us an update.
Hey, thanks. I'll take a steak dinner. But so right now I'm on 62, and I was in some golf ball size hail. It's right behind me, like you said, and I had at least 60-mile-an-hour winds blowing that hail sideways. And up ahead on 62, the power lines are down across 62. So I'm going to have to see what I'm going to do. I might be trapped here and get ready to get some really big hail. But I'll let you know. It looks like it's closed, though, up ahead. Back to you.
Hey, Tom, real quick. You are coming up on the damage of the tornado. As it occluded, it crossed. You are just past the bend, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's got to be right where you are. I mean, it was weakening, but it crossed Highway 62 pretty much where you are. Okay, I see power lines. Power poles are snapped off there. I see emergency crews in front of you. What's going on up here, Tom? Give us an update.
He's about 2 miles from the heart of the path right now.
Tom, if you heard Lacey, you're 2 miles away from where we think that the heart of the tornado passed. Go ahead, give us an update.
Okay, so right now I see probably about 8 power poles that are just leaning, with the lines leaning also. I don't see them crossing over the road, but yeah, there's quite a few power poles that are down. It's a mess down here. It's going to take a lot of time to get all these poles back just in this path of the tornado. I've seen so many lines, so many power poles snap. So and there's a trailer also that looks like it has a little bit of damage, but everybody's turning around here, so I will see what I can do here. Back to you.
Tom, maybe pull up there and see if you can get through, and then see if you can keep moving east, because just east of your location is where that tornado crossed. It was weakening, and if you have any trouble from the law, just tell them Lacey Swope said it was okay.
Perfect.
You'll be good. Tell them Lacey Swope, Cassie Hyder, and Andrew said it was all good. Leave my name out of it.
All right.
I may be wanted down there. Okay. All right, let's go back to it here. And there's your storm track now. We're looking at Tom Seed Reservoir, 852. Roosevelt, 9 o'clock. Snyder, 9 o'clock. Cache, 9:59. Lake Latonka, 10:13. Lawton downtown, 10:44. Elgin at 10:51. And this monster storm marching east. What's our speed? Are we still thinking?
I put it at 20, and it's barely moving 20. Okay. I mean, it's moving very slowly right now, but just to give you a little bit of lead time.
Yeah. Okay, so the tornado warning.
It's been dropped.
It's been dropped.
Yes.
Okay. And really right now, that's okay. Because this is behind, we'll call it, it's a storm-generated cool front, right? That green line. You're not going to get a tornado out of that. You're going to get a severe storm with big wind, big hail, like destructive hail, like tennis balls and baseballs. And then this is going down 62. There's Hedrick, but the circulation, this front wraps in right here. See it, how it snakes right on top of Jeremy's car, right here, snakes back in, and then tightens back up just to the southwest of Hedrick. Okay, let's go to our shots here. Let's go back to Brandon Pennell. And Brandon, it looks like you have a north wind right there, looking at radar data. And, the back storm behind you is behind the front. Half of your storm is behind the front. Your gust front wraps in just to your east and northeast about 5 miles, it looks like. Go ahead and give us an update.
Yeah, David, that's right. So we've been kind of sitting here trying to figure it out. We saw Jeremy and Val to the east. So we've been playing, trying to figure out which storm, the west storm or get blast back to the east. So right now we're kind of headed back west because we saw that couplet. We thought maybe there might be some pretty strong straight line winds coming out towards the old Lusty area. But if you think we should, we'll turn around and blast back to the east and get east on this storm that has come through Alps. We were just kind of trying to play it safe and cover everything. So whatever you think. Right now we're kind of in between, so I really can't tell you what either storm is doing. Back to you.
Well, here's the deal. They're both very large storms. The storm you're on is the biggest storm of the day and has been all day long. But it's going to go right down through Snyder and Cache and then make its way into Lawton. So I tell you what, Brandon, just keep going east. Maybe get back up on 62 and just keep going east. We'll see what it does. Still have dynamics in place. These might start to weaken here, but right now they're still very strong, large hail damaging winds with still a tornado threat. Right now, no tornado warnings in effect right now. No tornado warnings in effect. All right, Lace, so lots of folks asking about, again, Oklahoma City's right here. And we had the one severe storm today during the 4 o'clock newscast. Moved in, we had some hail, we had some golf ball size hail, but this is not headed towards the metro. So, Lace, what you got there? Let's go to, what do you have that? Links what?
Just showing kind of the broad view here on Links 1, just to show you what's going on, because these storms are, they are way down in southwest Oklahoma. And switch radar here, there's really nothing else going on. And if we go to Links 2, we've got the model data, which has these storms a little further north of where they are. Models aren't ever going to nail it exactly perfect, but just kind of show you what it does.
Links 2 control room.
Links 2, yeah.
And we'll show you here, and you'll see.
Yep, there you go.
So it's not perfect, right?
Sure.
But it's close.
But continues to take these storms and really just vaporize them in the next 2 to 3 hours, with additional storms taking off south of the Red River, down near Durant, and those push into southeast Oklahoma. So if this is correct, and right now we don't have anything north of these storms, this says the metro's quiet for the rest of the evening. So we'll see. Yeah, and we've been down this road before where these are supposed to weaken. Low-level jet says, I don't think so. Yes.
And then they keep going. So we will see. We will track it. We will see what they do here the next little bit. All right.
David,
so, yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
I was going to say, Tom's in that westernmost storm that's heading toward Altus and Olustee right now, and he's got his shot's not up in the
I see it.
Little 3 box, but
I
his
see it up top.
shot is blinding rain, hail.
Okay, yeah, it's right on top of him. Okay. All right, thank you, Andrew. Let's go to Tom Pastrano. He's in this. And, Tom, that's a horizontal wind with hail mixed in, it looks like. Give us an update. You're on Highway 62.
Power lines in a shot.
Power lines down from the tornado from earlier. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. So they're draping over 62, and it's closed right now. I did have some golf ball size hail. It seems like the hail is getting a little bit smaller. Also, the winds are not as strong, but I did get some winds, probably approaching 70. So this is a pretty mean storm, and it's moving towards the east-southeast. So I'm going to have to figure another way to get around all this. Back to you.
All right, nice job. So Tom's on the back storm, still a big wind, big hail producer here. And again, this is going to be sliding east-southeast, right? No tornado warning on this. It's that right here. Tom's right there. There's the hook. You're thinking, hey, Payne, what's going on? Why are we not, what, you know? Well, the cold front that's been generated by the first storm has now undercut the back storm, so you have a north wind. You're not going to get a tornado out of that. You're going to get wind and hail, and that's a problem. And by the way, it's going to come back into Altus and then south and west of Altus, back down towards Olustee. It's been a big day in southwest Oklahoma. Could have been much worse, right? But big hail up here near and west of Centerville, north and west of Hedrick. Big hail in here. What's our hail size? What do you guys have up there? There's baseball. What's it say? Go ahead.
You can see it. Baseball.
I can't hear.
Baseball size hail. There you go. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it still is. Wow, it's big hail. Okay, so it's a destructive hailstorm if you're in it. North of Hedrick, crossing now north of 62. There's your hail core right there. That is a problem. This storm looks like to me the hail core is shrinking. Looks like that may be the beginning of possibly the weakening phase of this. What does storm strength look like? Has it come down any? I know it's still strong, but has it come down? No. And this thing is, gosh.
And it's that storm is still moving easterly towards Lawton eventually.
Yeah.
I know the winds are rushing out away from it. That's that severe thunderstorm warning for Frederick and Lake Frederick and eventually Hollister.
Yeah.
But the actual body of the storm is still kind of riding Highway 62.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So as of right now, we do not have any. We have damage reports. No reports of anything crazier than
4 homes, I believe, was the latest that Amanda was saying earlier.
I think there'll be more than that when it's all said and done. We have tractors and things like that. We know were flipped and toppled over and everything. But no tornado warnings in effect, okay? And this is all severe. These are all severe storms coming down 62. The tornado threat right now continues to decrease because they're being undercut. So we're going to watch that as it moves off to the east. So we have been on the air for a long time. Folks, tornado warnings have expired for now. We're going to take a break. We're going to regroup, check in with our trackers. We won't be gone long. We'll be back here in just a few minutes. As always, stay on News 9. We'll keep you advised.
Tom Cole says Paul Bondar doesn't live in Oklahoma. Odd, because here's his home in Stonewall, and here's where he's building his forever home in Caddo. But since he brings it up, where's Congressman Cole? He hasn't voted in person in Oklahoma once in 20 years.